How about Trev Alberts? Oh, he left Nebraska for Texas A&M. Trev Alberts. Trev Alberts.
Is that the old linebacker?
Yeah. DN, yeah, linebacker DN, yeah. But yes.
What is he now? He's in the
He left Nebraska yesterday to be the AD at Texas A&M. He played at Nebraska. He was AD at Nebraska Omaha when they called it that. Then he became the AD at Nebraska.
Right.
He is Nebraska. He represents, I mean, symbolically, this is crushing.
He must have gotten the bag.
Well, yeah, because A&M pays better than anybody.
Yeah, but the fact that he would get up and leave.
But he left Nebraska.
Yeah, but he got the bag soaked in oil.
Yeah, but
yeah, but
I know
he's lived his whole life there. I mean, literally, even while he was playing, he lived in Nebraska, and then when his career was done and he did broadcasting, he lived in Nebraska.
Well, maybe he wanted to change the scenery.
Apparently.
Oh, his jersey's retired at Nebraska. Wow.
Yeah. Didn't he win the Outland?
I don't know. He won the Dick Butkus Award. He was an All-American.
Well, if he won the Butkus, he could win the Outland. So he was a linebacker. But I mean,
we are ready to go. Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Marc Miller and David Moulton.
Fired up on this Thursday as we head, at least we can see it from here, into the final weekend of the college basketball season before, well, you know. How the heck are you? We are Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on Twitter/X. That's how we roll. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
I'm good. I'm surprisingly alert, awake after a 3-day week last week. I thought I'd be running out of steam by Thursday, but I'm just full steam ahead, ready to go. Big conference basketball games today. I'm fired up.
Well, and there are a few that feel like play-in games also for certain teams. And last night was the night in which certain teams absolutely had to avoid losing, and you got a few of those scenarios today as well. But between NFL free agency and the madness, how do you not have some adrenaline as a sports fan this week, right?
It's a great call. Obviously with the legal tampering period beginning on Monday, setting the free agent frenzy, got to get both those things in. Legal tampering, free agent frenzy. I think you're obligated to say both in the same sentence. It's a mandate by the 4-letter network for all sports talk show hosts across the country.
By the way, can you have both? I mean, are you a free agent if you're tampering? Doesn't that mean that you're still contractually obligated to someone else? No? I don't know. But it's good that everybody waited till 4 o'clock yesterday to do their business, and now you can consummate some deals and get things going. There was apparently somebody yesterday who verbally agreed to one team and then signed with another.
It was the guy I mentioned right at the end of the show. Is it Kendricks?
Yep.
The linebacker who verbally committed. It felt like college signing day. Dallas got him to flip.
Wait a minute. I thought he was committed to the Niners, but the fax came in Irving, Texas. What's going on? Did he send it to the wrong number? Does it say Niners at the top of the sheet? What's going on here?
So now we find out how the Cowboys were all in.
Right. They signed Eric Kendricks. That should do it. He'll replace Van Der Esch. I think our work is done here. But interesting goings on. Can we I felt for someone last night.
Okay.
Now, I'm weird. We know that by now. Okay.
Quirky.
Goober. Right. So if we can just backpedal a couple years, the Tennessee Titans owned the AFC South. They had made the playoffs. I believe it was 5 straight years, had 6 straight winning seasons. And you went through Tennessee in the South. And Mike Vrabel looked A.J. Brown right in the face and said, "We are not trading you. Okay? I want to keep you forever. We need you to win a Super Bowl." Okay. And then the GM of the Titans, without conferring to Vrabel, traded A.J. Brown to the Eagles, which caused the GM to get fired a few months later. And it caused Vrabel's relationship with the Titans to basically begin to go in the tank. So let's fast forward nearly 2 years. New GM, Vrabel's gone, and the new GM gives Calvin Ridley, who's 4 years older than A.J. Brown was when Vrabel looked him straight in the eyes and said, "We're not going to trade you, man. All right? You're the franchise going forward." They give Calvin Ridley the money that they wouldn't give A.J. Brown 2 years earlier. And Brown, of course, is still 2 to 3 years younger than Ridley is now. Never mind the fact he's a better player. That's messed up. You can just cross the Titans right off the list. Honestly, they from now on, until proven otherwise, they don't know what they're doing. That's messed up. You paid Calvin Ridley instead of A.J. Brown. Right. Okay. And you suffered 2 losing seasons in the meantime. Got it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's me. That's in my next life, I'm going to be a general manager. That's that part of my brain that was sitting here yesterday going, Mike Vrabel right now, tell me he's not probably in Key West. All right. Or maybe he's walking around Southwest Florida. He could be Naples, Marco, walking around in, shorts, sandals, good looking guy, going a little gray, but, he'd blend right in Florida. And tell me he's not bellied up to a bar with a Hawaiian shirt on, just saying, "Yeah, I'll take another."
Outside of the shirt, I think you're right. I don't think he uses Andy Reid's tailor to dress himself, but everything up until the Hawaiian shirt, David, you had me. As your costume designer for this little documentary series, I'm going to put something else on the coach.
Okay, that's good. But
That's
tell me he didn't need an Uber to get home last night. Tell me the wife wasn't continuing to text him going, "Where are you?" Just one of those, have we all just had one of those days where it's going okay, life's fine, you're in a transition period, it's fine, and then you hear something, you see something, and you just stop off to have a drink while you look at your phone, and 6 to 8 hours later, you're in the same spot. I channeled my inner Mike Vrabel yesterday. I really did. I said, I feel for him. All right. He seems a little big to walk up and give a hug to, but I think he could use a hug.
All right. So you're giving out hugs today.
To
NFL coaches, to ex-NFL coaches or coaches on the shelf at the moment.
Right. And remember, he still had time left on his contract. I mean, the Titans were paying for those drinks last night.
Oh, there's no doubt. And he could, still double dip time before this is all said and done, David.
Sure. But I just wanted to point out, because some people go, "Ooh, Titans on Calvin Ridley." Yeah, can we rewind 2 years?
Well, first off, I think the Patriots got off the hook here because they were about to pay him, a guy who is not a one. Well, the one thing that we learned last year about Calvin Ridley is that he's not a one.
No.
He's a
really
nice
good
dude.
two. Yeah, he's a really good two. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. You and I debated whether or not T. Higgins is a 1. He wants to get paid like a 1.
Right.
We don't know if he's a 1.
No, but probably he's a top 5 too. Absolutely is. But I mean,
But there's a lot of 2s out there that, when given the opportunity to be the 1 at that position, can't do it.
no. I mean, we doubling T. Higgins? No, we're doubling Jamar Chase. So that's all. That's my little goober moment of the day. I know that's pretty gooberish for 6:09 a.m. I'll grant you that.
Well, it's not so much that I feel it's gooberish for this time of the morning. What I really worry about is, while Vrabel was wherever he was drinking in your world,
There's no doubt in my
you were
mind.
spending hours yesterday thinking about Mike Vrabel and how bad things are for him right now. And that's the part, because it's not the 6:02 a.m. that you start in with the Vrabel and the Ridley.
No,
It's the hours you spent yesterday.
no. This is 12 hours. This has been festering for 12 hours. I mean, this news broke around 5:30 last night. Yeah, right. My wife turned to me at some point. She goes, "What's going on?" I go, "No, I'm just thinking about something." Gave the impression it was something, serious. Something having to do with our life. Health, finances, something like that. Our family. I said, I just need a few minutes. And I'm literally going, man, if I'm Mike Vrabel right now, I am getting hammered tonight. Hammered. That's all. And just, the things that amuse you as you get older. That's all.
All right.
Why do I want to continue to live my life? Why can't I live through Mike Vrabel for 8, 10, 12 hours?
I see no problem with that, David.
Right.
None whatsoever.
I'll bet you he's got it going on, even though he's just recently been fired. And I'll bet you he's got it going on a little better than me. So that's all. Until yesterday. Until yesterday.
A little better.
A little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit.
He's doing fine.
Yes, he is.
Compared to the two of us, he's doing really well.
Until he heard the news yesterday. And then, I mean, I think Mike's going to have to
I
sleep in
think
a
he
little bit
laughed.
today.
I think at one point he might have had a drink or two and said, yeah, I wish we'd have paid AJ Brown that. And then he went, those morons, I'm so happy to be out of there. That's going to be a grease fire. And I'm going to come out on the other side looking a hell of a lot better than they are from this one. Whoever hires me next year.
Yep. Good thing I got away from those guys. Yep. He's probably laughing. He probably left a message on the owner's cell phone. And you chose him over me, huh? Ha! Click. That's all. I mean, what? You want me to continue to live my life? Okay. Why? I can't dream? I can't be Mike Vrabel for 12 hours? First off, I'm in much better shape. I'm younger and I'm good looking. I mean, that happened, boom, just like that. And I got millions in the bank because my former employers, morons. So, forgive me if I dream a little bit.
No. I mean, anytime a former employer pays an employee, we're for that.
This is the third act of Miller and Moulton, so we're big fans of certain things.
Things that we've never received ourselves.
Right. I got fired from one gig. I had 6 weeks vacation coming. They paid me for 5 hours. That one always amazed me. 5 hours, not even 6. They didn't do 1 hour per week. Paid me 5 hours.
We'll go to New York today and talk about the sports scene in the Big Apple because there's nothing going on there between the two football teams and the baseball team. One of the baseball teams, that is.
I know. The Mets, who have been a train wreck for, a year now, are seemingly normal.
We'll talk with Steve Carney, talk about the Rays and Ron Sirak to talk a little players. All coming up, plus the starting five, 25 minutes away. Miller and Moulton.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Just updated that. Thanks
First
for the
off,
tip.
neither of us hate the Yankees. Ambient. The Mets and Yankees aren't rivals. We've talked about that before. That's the first. Secondly, if we did our show based on just having the teams on that we liked, I hate the University of Michigan above all things. We've had Angelique Shangelis on the show 100 times.
Michigan football is probably in the top 3 teams that we've talked about in the last 6 months.
Yeah, because they were the national freaking champions.
Well, and the scandal. I mean, we talked
so
about them.
We talked a ton of Michigan, and we have Michigan guests on. In order to do your job, you've got to do your job. And Garrett Cole's going to go on the IL for 1 to 2 months, and that could be even longer, people suspect. Because this could be the resting period before they figure out if they want to do that surgery thing.
Kilo's dad, it's March. Anyone can make a run. I was wrong, dead wrong about Maryland last night. By the way, right before we went live, Mark and David were both like, we hated that bet. You shouldn't have taken it. I was like, dang it. Ugh.
All right. What are we thinking for a poll question today?
Do we want to go March Madness? Do we want to go baseball?
We don't want to go baseball.
Okay.
We never want to go baseball. Oh, did I say that out loud?
How about this? You guys might hate this. Who does the national championship which conference does the national champion come from? Big Ten, ACC, SEC, Big East.
Mountain West.
Big Ten, you got Purdue.
Yeah, I know. I know who you have. Big 12, you got Houston. Yeah. And Kansas, as a matter of fact.
I'm just thinking. I think it's a pretty fair shake between all the conferences.
Which backup quarterback, would you want to have? And we could list, I don't know, Flacco, Jameis,
Mac
some
Jones.
of the guys, some of the guys who have signed recently, right?
Ooh, David, I have an idea. How about which quarterback would you pick as your running mate?
I'm telling you, I feel good that we didn't get into that yesterday because I listened to some of the national shows and they started talking about it and it sounded so poor as far as the quality, to me, of the quality of radio they were doing. I mean, I've got a winner for a poll question. I just got to double check something here.
Okay.
Because I believe it's National Potato Chip Day.
Oh, well, that instantly trumps everything.
It's not even close. Could be a record number of votes.
It's National Potato Chip Day.
So what are we going?
Pringles,
Flavor?
Ruffles, Lay's.
Oh, we're going kind, or do we do flavor?
What would the options be?
Barbecue, sour cream and onion, regular, cheddar. I don't know. So you want to go Lay's, Pringles are horrible. Who the hell's going to vote for Pringles? If somebody as your favorite potato chip,
I like Pringles.
David, don't you get Pringles at the hotel? Then don't you
I get them because I can't buy a bag of Lay's.
I've been the daughter gets the small Pringles.
Right.
You know, like there's 36 of them, 3 flavors.
Right.
So I don't mind a little thing of Pringles there. In fact, I had a chicken salad sandwich and some Pringles yesterday. It was delicious.
You know what? Paul brings up a good point because salt and vinegar, that might be my number one.
Well, that's why the flavor thing's hard.
Yeah.
Barbecue, sour cream and onion, salt and vinegar, regular.
Well, we could cut out regular and say, what's your favorite?
Because regular.
Why?
Why would
no, because
what would you
cut out regular?
What the hell's the matter?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour once again. If you're not a regular viewer of Miller and Moulton via twitch.tv, you need to occasionally just, if you feel like your life needs a little spice, you just need to sample us one morning, twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton, because a verbal brawl nearly broke out during that commercial break. Because we have found the focus of our poll question. We just haven't centered in on the question yet. The question!
Thank you.
The question, you jerk! Right. Nothing like a 30, 40-year-old John McEnroe reference to really be hip with the kids these days. So, Mark, what's today?
National Potato Chip Day.
Now, so obviously, ladies and gentlemen, that is the focus of our poll question. So we have a big debate, though. Kind of chip.
Right.
Versus
brand of chip versus flavor of chip.
Right. Flavor versus brand. That's what we're going. And the just verbal brawl that ensued was all because Pringles were brought up.
Miller versus Moulton brawl, and then a Miller Moulton versus Trent brawl.
Right.
Who wanted to omit plain potato chips as a flavor in and of itself.
Right. How dare you, sir?
How dare you?
My thought process is just that's the tradition. I mean, that'll win in a landslide, right? That's what people like the most.
I don't think it
I don't know. You just got done saying that salt and vinegar is your favorite chip.
It is, but I'd still take original over that.
I don't know. Then it can't be your favorite.
It's not
chip.
your favorite.
You're on death row. Final meal. Okay. You get my quarter pounder with cheese, supersized meal, and then they offer you chips on the side. What chips are you eating?
Plain Lay's.
Then that's your favorite potato chip.
Fair enough.
It's not what he said, though, during the commercial.
Not close.
That's why he was nearly fired. My goodness, not going to
I just ran out of time. We had to come
regular back. Chip. So that's our big debate. Because Mark brought up Pringles, and I contend no one is going to vote Pringles as their favorite chip. Okay, Pringles is they come due in a pinch. Okay, they come through for you. Like when I'm on the road and I'm in the hotel room and I'm starting to, crash the food in the wet bar there. And it's like, what $8 to $13 thing can we have for breakfast this morning? How about a thing of Pringles? Boom. Doesn't mean I would choose Pringles. If you walk into a place, Pringles versus Lay's versus, whatever. Never mind the Ridges. What brand is that with the Ridges?
Ruffles.
Like you're going to choose Pringles over Ruffles. Come on now. Honestly, if you choose Pringles as your favorite potato chip, I want to send like an ambulance over to your house. Honestly, you need to be evaluated. I think something's wrong. We're going to have to do blood work. If
Well,
you
and
choose Pringles as your favorite potato chip.
the people in the Twitch chat room, Miller and Moulton, Twitch TV, they're bringing up a valid point, which I think needs to be said, is Pringles aren't really potato chips. They're crisps. They're kind of like their own thing. It's not. You guys
They're
know what I'm talking-
Pringles.
Yeah, but they're not.
They're a potato chip. Now,
a very different type of potato chip, though. They're like they're.
there's nothing
Yes.
wrong with the Pringles.
Yes,
The
they are a
texture is
very
different.
different potato chip. They're not that good tasting. Right. That's what makes them a very different potato chip. They're just incredibly convenient. Instead of the embarrassment of eating the whole bag, they said, hey, how about if we line these suckers up? We'll even go top to bottom. Make it very easy on you. You pop open the top. There's no making the noise with the bag. You can eat these, and people don't even know you're eating them. All right? That's the key to a Pringle right there. And then you just put the top right back on, and it's not like a bag. By looking at a bag, you're like, son of a gun, he ate half the potato chips. You have no idea looking at a can of Pringles.
Well, it also doesn't help that when you open a bag of Lay's, it's instantly half empty.
Exactly.
See?
I will
Right.
say, quick sidebar, David. Over the weekend, my wife bought Cheez-Its and put the box in the pantry thinking that I wouldn't devour them.
What?
So over the course of a couple of days, and I was proud of myself. I was just doing kind of like a handful a day for about 3-4 days when I needed them. And I took them down, went to the store, replaced them,
There you go.
put them right back in, and just had a few more. She's none the wiser.
So you with Cheez-Its is kind of like me getting a haircut.
Yes,
Right. Gotcha.
but
Good to know.
you don't think any. See, now I want to put Pringles up just to see who picks Pringles.
Who, honestly, as your favorite chip,
It's got to be somebody's because they're on shelves and they keep disappearing off the shelves.
First off, Mark, this is America. We're fat. We like being fat. We're going to continue to be fat. Okay. That is a carbohydrate and it's easy. It's the easiest to eat. Of all the chips that you're staring at, you're like, well, nothing's easier than a Pringle. And besides, nobody wants these but me. You get a bag of anything else, somebody else around you is like, ooh. Nobody ever says, oh, can I have some of your Pringles? Seriously, I'm 58 years old. No one's ever said, oh, can I have a couple of Pringles? Never, not once. I feel like I'm Ricky Gervais having a conversation with myself here. No, never, not once. No. But honestly, I mean, this is Pringles. You can't have but one. No, that's Lay's. Okay. Honestly, what's the marketing campaign behind
They're
Pringles?
not my favorite, but I think Pringles are delicious.
Delicious.
I had a mini tube. The daughter has Pringles minis for lunch. Had one with my chicken salad sandwich yesterday. They were wonderful.
No, they weren't wonderful. They were just satisfying. They were like, wow, this hit the spot.
I'm more on Mark's side with this. I don't think there's anything wrong with Pringles. When you stack them up against Lay's, what are we doing here?
That's what I'm saying. I didn't say there's anything wrong with them.
You've spent the last 10 minutes saying they're not good.
I didn't say that. I said there's no way they're your favorite. You know
said
what
they don't
Pringles are? Pringles are Joe Flacco. Okay. And occasionally it's mid-November and you got to call Joe Flacco up off the couch.
Text line at 21,000. Pringles not really food, just a thing, not a fan. Pringles are not really a potato chip. Legally, they're 60% flour. So legally, apparently, they're not potato chips.
Wait, legally? Wow.
I didn't know there was a legalese for potato chips.
There's a threshold you got to hit, apparently.
I didn't realize Law and Order was involved.
Pringles are my go-to chip for my car with my 3 boys. Less of a mess on the way to all their sports.
Right. They're convenient. They serve a purpose. Favorite?
And occasionally, David, they throw a pick 6 against the Texans in the playoffs.
I mean, Pringles are what? Ryan Tannehill? Which is tough for me because, I've defended Ryan Tannehill for over a decade. But honestly, in fact, that could be our poll question. If Pringles were a quarterback, who would he be?
Well, here's the problem with that.
Might be Kirk Cousins.
Oh, come on. Kirk Cousins is far better than Pringles.
Are you sure about that? Think about it.
Dak Prescott.
In a big game, where's Kirk Cousins been? The same place Pringles have been. They've gotten paid. They've had great marketing throughout both of them have marketed themselves incredibly well over the years.
I can't argue with that.
I mean, the Pringles commercials with the guy getting his hand stuck in the thing, we all remember it.
They're both very popular in the Midwest.
If Pringles were a quarterback, who would he be? I actually like that better than in honor of National Potato Chip Day, and we turned it into a football question.
I like where your head's at, David. I really do. For a second, I thought your head was stuck in the Pringles can, but the more I think about it, you're right on.
That's way too big for a Pringles can.
There's no doubt. Starting 5, that's next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Are you ready to make March unforgettable? No, seriously. Get ready to be dazzled as Jason and Todd with the Diamond District invite you to their largest diamond event ever, featuring one of the world's largest diamond cutters, beginning Friday, March 15th, running through Sunday the 17th. Picture this, GIA certified diamonds ranging from 1 carat to a stunning 11 carat diamonds, all at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. No, seriously, the lowest prices. And that's not all. A. Jaffe, one of America's top bridal designers, will be joining the Diamond District for this extraordinary event. Whether you're searching for that perfect engagement ring to symbolize your love or looking to treat yourself to a timeless piece of fine jewelry, the Diamond District has exactly what you need. With their wide selection of fine jewelry at unbeatable prices, you're sure to find something that will take your breath away. No, seriously. Don't miss out on the biggest diamond event of the year, Friday the 15th through Sunday the 17th.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
First off, that's a best of segment. Secondly, my wife thinks we're boring. Okay, we need to expand it. All right. to just that she starts talking about chips, Cool Ranch, Nacho. I go, Doritos don't count. She's like, Pringles, give me a break. Okay.
What the hell is she talking about Doritos? It's not a potato chip.
Thank you. That's what I said. She goes, you need to spice it up, branch it out. Okay. If you want to talk flavors, she said, you need to expand it. I go, what part of it's
There's
National
4
Potato Chip Day?
Choices.
Maybe 5, but 4.
Well, no, there's only 4 I can put on a
Right.
poll question. 4.
So plain, right? Salt and vinegar, sour cream, and barbecue, right?
We'll piss off people. We'll miss something. Trust.
Well, cheddar. We'll leave out cheddar. There's some people like cheddar, but that's what we're going with, right?
Let's leave out sour cream and onion.
Or you do what Trent says and you just leave out plain because it's going to win.
Say, what's your favorite non-original flavor of potato chip in honor of National Potato Chip Day?
I still like the idea of what quarterbacks of Pringles.
Yeah. Or no potato chip. Okay, Pringle. Today's National Potato Chip Day. What quarterback is a Pringle? God, that's funny. So we go Cousins, we go Dak.
Current quarterback. As we got Jay Cutler and Ryan Leaf coming in.
What about Brock Purdy? Last choice, Mr. Irrelevant.
It's not bad. That's not bad. Tua. Can you put Tua?
You eat them with your left hand?
Well, I'm just saying, what's Pringle? Pringle is a fallback. Pringle is not good enough to win a championship with, right? Pringle is never your favorite. Isn't that what a Pringle is?
Well,
right.
Yes, but
Pringles you're never going to win a championship with they're going to serve that meal and you put Pringles on the side. That's never going to be an award-winning plate of food.
Well, I don't disagree. Tua catching strays.
I'm just
Smart.
saying. Remember, we're trying to get people to vote in a poll question. I mean, listen, we're trying to equate a guy who just signed a $180 million contract, $100 million of it guaranteed, and we're saying he's Pringles. Think about it.
It's so snarky.
I mean, it is snarky. I mean, I would nominate Daniel Jones personally, but
Oh my gosh. We haven't talked enough about Daniel Jones and David Moulton on this show.
please. Marc was there. He witnessed it live.
When they gave him
we're doing a draft show.
It was the only remote we ever did, I think, in our second act.
And we're at a bar in Cape Coral, and it's a good crowd. We're having a good time, and we're doing our cut-ins on the station. So we're just doing the draft, and they draft Daniel Jones, and Moulton had an out-of-body experience.
6th
What
overall.
Daniel Jones, quarterback.
I mean,
Duke.
I mean, hands in his face, expletives flying out. It was. Wish I would have filmed it. It was so good.
That's amazing. Okay, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the top of the hour. We'll talk a little New York sports at the top of the hour. Interesting week for the Giants and Jets thus far. Looks as if it could be a bad to catastrophic week for the Yankees. We'll find out ultimately with Garrett Cole. Marc Malusis, who does TV and radio in New York. He will join us in a little more than 20 minutes' time. We'll also check in on the Rays, who lost a starting pitcher due to injury. We'll see how long yesterday. Season starts what? I mean, the Dodgers and the Padres are a week from tomorrow, but isn't it 2 weeks today? Opening day?
28th for most teams, yes.
Yeah, Thursday the 28th. So 2 weeks today. Opening day. See how much earlier they've moved opening day? Opening day used to always be like the day of the national championship game, that Monday, the first Monday of April. Now they've moved it up a week, just like that. They could shorten this season, add in an extra round of playoffs if they want. I mean, if you're starting regular season games in March, I mean, come on, you could do this.
They're going to do it.
Well, it's all about TV revenue. So the TV revenue has to, for all 30, which will become 32 teams, has to make up the difference in each team losing 4 home games. Either that or they keep 162 and they just play a few more doubleheaders. A few more day-night doubleheaders. Did you ever go to a twilight doubleheader?
Oh, yeah.
4:30, 5 o'clock start.
The best.
Back in the day, and you just go and get there at 3 o'clock. You watch batting practice. You just stay. You could leave the middle of the second game.
One of the early memories of mine is going to a Tigers-Angels twilight doubleheader. And we left midway through the second game because I was a very young kid, but got to see a game and a half. It was wonderful.
Right. All for one admission price.
You got it.
Yeah, those were the days. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Well, free agency began at 4 o'clock yesterday. Just remember that. Nothing happened on Monday and Tuesday of this week. Let's see what also the new year began. So everybody had to be cap compliant by 4 o'clock yesterday. 255.4 million, I believe. I mean, could you balance your books in 255.4 million? That seems tough. Okay, Calvin Ridley, the big news. He leaves Jacksonville. So and he left after 4 o'clock. That's important. If he had left before 4 o'clock, they would have owed Atlanta a 2nd-round pick. He left after 4 o'clock. They only owe him a 3rd. Don't ask me. It's in the fine print. 4 years, $92 million with the Titans. $50 million guaranteed. 29 years old. That's some good money, especially since he's not a number 1 wide receiver. Where do we go here? Well, the Bucs keep Jordan Whitehead in the fold. This is a hell of a deal. This guy started every game for the last 2 years. Never comes off the field. 2 years, $9 million. Not per year, total. That's a good deal. Joe Flacco. He got the Jameis Winston contract, 1 year, $8.7 million with the Colts.
Over under how many games he starts next year?
Well, let's see. Put it right at 8.5. We'll go mid. There you go. Over.
I'll go under.
Okay. $4.5 million of Flacco's contract is guaranteed. Mason Rudolph signs a 1-year deal, could be worth $3.6 million with the Titans. Raiders released Jimmy Garoppolo and Hunter Renfrow, saving themselves $19 million. Eric Kendricks, former Charger, told the Niners, we got a deal, and then signed with the Cowboys. A 1-year deal. He'll replace Van Der Esch, who likely has to retire. Chargers released wide receiver Mike Williams and restructured Khalil Mack's contract yesterday. Saints released wide receiver Michael Thomas effective June 1st. Bobby Wagner goes to the Commanders on a 1-year deal following Dan Quinn, who was his defensive coordinator 10 years ago in Seattle. $8.5 million, 6 of it guaranteed. Bengals signed defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins to a 2-year, $26 million deal. Good player. Stick him in the middle, 29 years old. That's solid. He gets paid short term. And Arizona did the same with former Bengal tackle Jonah Williams. And people are now wondering, with the moves the Cardinals have made the last couple of days for a couple of offensive linemen, if maybe Arizona does not take an offensive lineman 4th overall. If maybe that leads to them either trading the pick or going wide receiver. So keep that in mind. College football, and this was a stunner. He was Nebraska, at least modern day Nebraska. Played for Tom Osborne, lived in Nebraska his whole life, was athletic director at Nebraska Omaha, played on a national championship Nebraska team. Trev Alberts left Nebraska to be the AD at Texas A&M. And when you say it's about the money, he signed a contract extension last year, which guaranteed that he would always be one of the top 3 highest paid ADs in the Big Ten and one of the top 10 highest paid in the country. So there's something else going on here, one would think. Because Trev Alberts just threw away his Nebraska legacy to be the AD at Texas A&M. He can do whatever he wants at Nebraska. You want to talk about boosters who are a pain, go to College Station. College hoops last night. UCF season likely came to an end. They lost to BYU in the quarters of the Big 12, 87-73. 17 wins, though, for UCF this year, and 7-11 in conference play. That's better than I thought they were going to do, Mark. It really is. Florida State keeps on playing for at least another day. They beat Vatech by 10. Knowles and the Tar Heels at noon today. People wondering, when Florida State loses, is this the end for Leonard Hamilton? The Southland champion is McNeese State. They won by 16. Their first trip to the NCAA since 2002. Will Wade led McNeese State to a 30-win season. 2 years ago, he was fired in disgrace for a cheating scandal at LSU. Patriot League title goes to Colgate. They beat Lehigh by 19. Colgate with 25 wins on the season. They'll be a thorny 14 or 15 seed. And congrats to the Bobcats of Montana State. They won the Big Sky title for the 3rd year in a row. They beat Montana after having lost to Montana twice during the regular season. Louisville fired head coach Kenny Payne. They owe him $8 million. He went 12-52 at Louisville. Honestly, do you think you would have done worse?
I don't. I don't think it's possible.
12-52 at Louisville. Unreal. Ole Miss extends Chris Beard's contract. The Big 12 announces they're keeping their basketball tournament, men's and women's, in Kansas City through 2031. They had to check with the Jayhawks first, and the Jayhawks said, well, yeah, we can bus. It's not even an hour. And they said, okay, we'll keep it here. FAMU season came to an end, and women's side, they went 9-21, and Rice won the American to secure a bid. NBA, 9 games last night. Good one in Miami. Nuggets controlled the 4th quarter. I think it was a 1-point game going to the 4th, and then Denver beat the Heat 188. Got to admit, they kept Jokic in check. 12 points, 14 rebounds, and still lost. Orlando's now 10 games above 500. They're the 5 seed in the East. They beat Brooklyn at home, 114-106. Zion with 33, and yet the Pelicans got blown out at home by the Cavs. Dallas, you know that Daniel Gafford, you see what he did? He went 5 for 5. He's 33 for his last 33 from the field.
Amazing.
5 games, he hasn't missed a shot. Dallas beat Golden State 109-99. Sacramento over the Lakers by 13. LeBron played 40 minutes. He's 39 years old. All right. And in honor of Trent, the field goal.
They're on a heater.
They have the 5th longest winning streak in the NBA, the 2nd longest in the East. They are the 12-win Detroit Pistons, who won their 2nd in a row last night over Toronto, 113-104.
And are no longer the worst team in the association.
No, they are not.
Jalen Duren, 20+.
Stop
Take
it.
it
Take
easy.
it. No one cares.
Nobody even knows who that is, by the way.
Nobody.
That includes the Duren family. If Jalen Duren was a potato chip, what kind of potato chip would he be?
Try made right. Something you've never heard of, David.
He'd be a vegan chip, is what he'd be, Trent. Blues keeping their faint playoff hopes alive. They beat the Kings 3-1. They're 6 behind LA for the final wild card in the West.
Well, if it's 6 points, they're done, according to one David Moulton.
Well, that is a ton of points in the NHL, where first off, seemingly everybody gets a point every night. All right. It's actually very difficult this late in the season to make up 6 points in the standings. It is. Do the math. Do the math. If the team you're chasing even just gets a point a game, when 90% of the league averages more than a point a game, if the team you're chasing just gets a point a game with 15 games left, figure out what you have to do. You got to go like 11-4 in your last 15 to catch them or overcome them. It's a lot. That's all I'm saying. Nashville doubled up Winnipeg 4-2 to solidify their playoff spot as the first wild card. Zach Hyman with a natural hat trick. Edmonton over Washington 7-2. And remember 2 nights ago, the Panthers trailed Dallas 3-0 and came back and won. A lot of people think if the Panthers make the finals, they're going to face Colorado. Well, the Avs spotted Vancouver 3-0 on the road, and they came back and won with a 3-goal third, 4-3 in overtime. Baseball, Garrett Cole shut down for the foreseeable future. He's traveled to LA. He's getting a second opinion. He's visiting the experts. More MRIs. Does that sound good to you?
No.
Okay.
No, this sounds like we're on, we're hoping to shut him down for a month or two so that we don't have to have what? Surgery.
Rays starting pitcher Taj Bradley shut down with a pec injury. They're hoping to shut him down for just 2 weeks. He was being penciled in as their number 5 starter. Padres acquire White Sox right-hander Dylan Cease, or they're on the verge of acquiring him, one or the other. It was on the verge when I went to bed. I'll be honest with you. I didn't check when I woke up this morning. And you got to be old or older to remember Johnny Bench's backup catcher for all those years on the Reds. His name was Bill Plummer.
David, I don't care how old you are. Nobody remembers that but you.
Okay.
Unless you're from Cincinnati.
He died of a heart attack at the age of 76.
Bill Plummer.
Bill Plummer, career 188 hitter. Good field, no hit. Did hit 2 homers off Steve Carlton in a game one time, however. 8 years he was Bench's backup. You know how little work? I mean, that's back in the day, Mark, that's the equivalent of putting on the hat and carrying the clipboard. To be Johnny Bench's backup.
Bill Plummer.
Bill Plummer. Dead at 76. The Players' Championship gets underway today. TPC Sawgrass. Scotty Scheffler, the defending champ. No one has ever repeated at the Players. 8 minutes before the hour. That was
the Starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
So today's National Potato Chip Day. It is going to be the focus of our poll question. Have we finalized what direction we're going in?
I love the idea of comparing Pringles to a current NFL quarterback. I can't get it out of my head. If Pringles were an NFL quarterback, which quarterback would they be? And we may have ruined today's show with that question, but I can't get away from it.
So many good options. We got to narrow it down to 4. So that'll be the focus of our next break,
in which we will verbally brawl once again. And then Marc Malusis, who does TV and radio in New York, will join us. And we'll actually get to the meat and potatoes of the show. That's if we can ever get over the potato chip portion of the show, which has sufficiently derailed the show thus far.
Who knew something as insignificant as National Potato Chip Day could have such an influence on this show? Miller and Moulton. We go to the Big Apple next. Thanks so much for listening. Have a chip.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Are you ready to make March unforgettable? No, seriously. Get ready to be dazzled as Jason and Todd with the Diamond District invite you to their largest diamond event ever, featuring one of the world's largest diamond cutters, beginning Friday, March 15th, running through Sunday the 17th. Picture this: GIA certified diamonds ranging from 1 carat to a stunning 11 carat diamonds, all at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. No, seriously, the lowest prices. And that's not all. A. Jaffe, one of America's top bridal designers, will be joining the Diamond District for this extraordinary event. Whether you're searching for that perfect engagement ring to symbolize your love or looking to treat yourself to a timeless piece of fine jewelry, the Diamond District has exactly what you need. With their wide selection of fine jewelry at unbeatable prices, you're sure to find something that will take your breath away. No, seriously. Don't miss out on the biggest diamond event of the year, Friday the 15th through Sunday the 17th.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. In honor of National Potato Chip Day, which current NFL starting quarterback would be the Pringles of the NFL? Kirk Cousins, Tua,
Dak.
2 T's, right?
I believe so.
Just making sure I'm spelling everybody right, David. Spelling's not a strong point in my
I
life.
understand. I'll double check just to.
On Prescott, yeah.
2 T's, yeah.
Yes.
Kirk, Tua, Dak, Brock Purdy?
Yes. I think Brock Purdy's a very viable option.
I will say the person who made the case in the Twitch chat room that Jimmy Garoppolo is Pringles, that's outstanding. That is. Okay. And his reasoning, I got to find it. The reasoning was, I don't know if we could counter it. The quarterback would have to be canned, pretty, and bland. I mean, that's good. That's good material. Chris Hagan, by the way. That's good material, Chris.
That is good. The only problem with putting him in here is that I would have to change which current NFL starting quarterback, because I don't know if he's really a starter.
And he's technically not even current because he got released yesterday, and he's going to be suspended for the first game or two of the year. So who knows if anybody's going to pick him up. Where's Tannehill going to end up? What's Denver doing at quarterback? What am I missing?
Are we good with Kirk, Tua, Dak, and Brock?
I think Kirk, that's offensive. I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league, but
Well, it's
I
offensive
like
to
it.
you because you don't like
Right.
Pringles.
Right. No, but no, it's a good answer. It gets people going. All because it's National Potato Chip Day. We are going to get some responses to this. Just have to make sure we spell Pringles. There's no exclamation or anything in
No.
Pringles, right? It's just Pringles.
Right.
Good.
It's up. Now I just got to figure out who I'm voting for.
See, the problem is if I vote for him. See, I like all those quarterbacks better than I like Pringles. But then again, if I view it as kind of like, all right, it's the hotel room. I need a trashy breakfast. It's probably going to come down to Dak or Tua for me. Paul, he's not only been to a Super Bowl, he's been to 2 NFC championship games.
I like Kirk Cousins, but he might be Pringles. Between Kirk and Dak.
Okay, we got Mark, and here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton along the network. Thrilled to be joined once again by Marc Malusis. He does the TV radio thing in New York. TV, Pix 11, radio, WFAN. You can follow Mark on Twix, Twitter/X at Mark with a C, Marc Malusis, Malusis. Mark, it's David and Mark. Thanks for your time. Good morning. How are you?
David, Mark, what's going on, guys? Good morning.
Well, what's going on in your neck of the woods where seemingly all hell is broken loose this week? Let's start with the Yankees. Are they lying? Are they fibbing? Are they concealing about Garrett Cole? What do we know?
First off, teams become, especially certain teams become, I guess, less and less forthright with information regarding injuries. And the Yankees have had issues diagnosing injuries in the past. And listen, anytime you look at it, this is terrible news for Cole. So out 1 to 2 months, seeing a specialist. They're saying that the MRI was clean. I have no idea exactly where it is. I do know this. This is a massive blow to the Yankees. They were a starter short. If you're thinking about this team being a championship team before this, that's why they still had engaged conversations with Blake Snell. They offered him $150 million before they signed Marcus Stroman. It's not like a championship rotation when you look at it. With Cole healthy, backed up by Carlos Rodon afterward, who was a disaster last year. Stroman, who's been combustible in his career, and we've seen him here in New York with the Mets. And then you've got Nestor Cortez, who's had one good year in Major League Baseball, and then the upside, but the inexperience of Clark Schmidt doesn't really exactly scream championship. Now the Yankees had hoped, and I really thought that the lineup could make up for some of the deficiencies. Also, depth of the bullpen, especially if Clay Holmes has a big-time year closing games out. This is, you have him out until May, potentially June right now. Those are the reports. That's a massive blow. I think the lineup is going to score a ton of runs this year, but if the Yankees are to win a World Series for the first time since 2009, if Cole is, say for argument's sake, he's done for the year, the Yankees are going to need 2 big-time starting pitchers. Now, that is something that is going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to acquire at this stage of the year.
Do you think this forces them to go sign Snell?
Yeah, I do, but I think they're going to give him $270 million over 9 years. No, I don't. I mean, I don't think the Yankees are in the business of doing that or handing out that kind of contract. I think the Yankees had hoped that with the timeline and the calendar that Snell maybe would have blinked and taken a short-term deal and punted, say, the next offseason. When we have a big-time year, it just came off a Cy Young with the San Diego Padres. I'll sign a short-term deal and hit free agency next offseason again, and maybe I'll get the longer contract that I'm looking for. Now, everybody and their mother knows, blood in the water. The Yankees, this is a significant blow to their rotation. A team that, in all likelihood, probably is just going to have Juan Soto for 1 year. They're looking to try and win the championship. So, obviously, agents and everybody else are going to feed off of that when they make calls for trades or when they're trying to sign out any guys that are still available on the open market.
Before we move on to the football teams, what do you think about overpaying both Snell and Montgomery for 1 year? I know Montgomery didn't pitch well in New York, but he seems to be a different pitcher since then. And what do you think they offer them both 1 year in excess of $30 million? Because Montgomery's reportedly being offered in the mid-20s. So the Yankees say offer him 30 for 1 year and then offer Snell 33 for 1 year, where he's probably getting a long-term deal offer in the 26-27 range. Do you think there's any chance that the Yankees decide, listen, if we only got Juan Soto for 1 year, well, let's go all in for this 1 year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a terrible idea. Do I think I could see them doing it on one? I would have a hard time envisioning them doing it on both. I like Montgomery here. I thought the trade when they made that trade with the St. Louis Cardinals and trade a left-handed starting pitcher for Harrison Bader made little to no sense. I don't care what his analytics or metrics were away from home when he was a member of the Cardinals. He was an oft-injured outfielder, and he was barely healthy. In a year and a half, he played 111 games during the course of the regular season. I grew up a Yankee fan. My Uncle Pete, my dad used to tell me, what do you need? You need lefty power. This was the old Yankee statement. You need lefty power, and you need at least one dominant lefty starting pitcher. Now, I understand Jordan Montgomery isn't, Andy Pettitte, but the Yankees department clearly did not have a grasp of his talent. As you saw him last year, help the Texas Rangers win. They thought that he would never crack their top four in the postseason as far as being a starter. So they were dead off on that. I think the guy they'd be most interested in overpaying for a year, given the Cole injury news, would probably be more Blake Snell than Jordan Montgomery, even though I have a healthy respect for both of them, obviously. All
right, Mark, let's switch gears and talk a little football or politics, whichever one comes up first, because Aaron Rodgers now circulated as RFK Jr.'s possible running mate. Just what type of upheaval did that cause in New York City yesterday? Because it obviously nationally was a big story. I got to think the Jets fans are freaking out.
Yeah, well, now we know what the Green Bay Packers are going through. Now we understand why the Green Bay Packers in this relationship were like, yeah, we're ready for a divorce. We're ready to move on. We're ready to see exactly, we have no idea what Jordan Love is. We're ready to exactly see what Jordan Love is all about, because we just can't take the nonsense that comes along with it. Listen, I think this is a publicity stunt. And I don't get really much into politics, but I mean, this is really where we're at here. We're sitting here in mid-March. You got St. Patrick's Day coming up this weekend. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers potentially being the vice presidential running mate for RFK Jr. in this upcoming presidential election. I mean, it's comical. This is coming off the idea, number one, that, after the season, Rodgers was talking about the fact that the Jets need to be more focused on winning and back to football, and that's got to be the primary focus, and then you're hit with this. So there's no doubting the talent that comes along with Aaron Rodgers. Even at 40, even coming off Achilles, soon to be 41, there's no doubting that he's one of the greatest quarterbacks and most physically gifted quarterbacks that I've ever seen play the position. But with all of that, there's also no doubt there's a lot of nonsense that comes along with Aaron Rodgers. And this story is nonsense. Listen, he's not going to be, even if he gets all, I have a hard time envisioning him doing it. RFK Jr. is looking to grab some headlines. It's great that he's got him on the list. I mean, what are we doing here as a nation if Aaron Rodgers is really a vice presidential candidate? Number one. Number two is he's brought here to play quarterback for the Jets. I think this story has been interesting for the last 48 to 72 hours. Outside of that, I think the Jets are getting back to trying to build an offensive line and trying to win some football games because for Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, their jobs are on the line in 24.
Marc Malusis, PIX11 is where he does TV. He does radio on WFAN. You can follow Marc on Twix, Twitter/X, Marc with a C, Marc Malusis, Malusis. Well, let me ask you, I don't think the Jets have done nearly enough on the offensive line. They made one trade to upgrade. They lose a double-digit sack pass rusher. I don't know that the Jets are any better today than they were when the week started. And I don't know how, if you're a Jets fan, Marc, you can understand what Joe Douglas is doing.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Listen, they had Morgan Moses before, and they let him go. Now they made a trade for him for the Baltimore Ravens. Simpson, the guard. You got to understand, they were so bad along the offensive line last year. I mean, and I think they got two good pieces. If Derek Tucker stays healthy, I think Joe Tippmann last year showed you that he's going to be an anchor at center. Their second-round pick out of Wisconsin last NFL draft. I think he's going to be really good. They still don't have a left tackle. You can't talk about a good offensive line if you don't have a left tackle. So the Jets wake up this morning and they don't have a left tackle. And you look at the history of Joe Douglas, they drafted Mekhi Becton to be the left tackle. I don't know if there's a guy that's sitting there with 10. If there's going to be a plug-and-play, no doubt about it, you're my starter at left tackle day one. Here, go protect the future Hall of Fame where we're trying to win a Super Bowl. I mean, that's the pressure that's going to be on that guy. Are there still guys available in free agency? For sure. Do the Jets have a lot of money? No doubt. No, they do not. So that's the issue. It's not like they went into this like Washington did with over $87 million of cap space for their new general manager. So, the Jets are in a precarious spot. It's, people get caught up in, they need a wide receiver too, or they need this. No, they need offensive line. If you can't protect it, you can't run it. You mentioned about Bryce Huff. Yeah, it's embarrassing for Joe Douglas. Bryce Huff was an undrafted guy that came here and he developed, and he left for the Philadelphia Eagles for a $51.1 million deal. Now, listen, happy for Bryce Huff. Worked his rear end off, developed, proved all the naysayers wrong. A guy coming out of college was undrafted. But those are the guys that you want to keep in building. Now, you want to say, the Jets drafted Will McDonald last year in the first round. That's true, they did. Can he step in and be that guy? Well, I'll be honest with you. The impressions rookie year of Will McDonald is that he is a long way away from being a player that Bryce Huff was last year. They've added some secondary pieces, tertiary pieces along that defensive line, taking one-year gambles like on Kinlaw, who was a former first-round pick from the San Francisco 49ers. That's all well and good. I don't have no doubt that the defense is going to be legit next year, but Huff is a huge loss given the fact that he was a double-digit sack guy. I think he had 68 quarterback pressures, and that's a huge addition for the Philadelphia Eagles because he's great in the locker room and he's unbelievable on the field.
Marc, we're fans from afar, and can't believe that you would agree to come on at this hour. I really appreciate it.
I got to be honest with you. I want to hear a little. I'm up early. My son's skating right now. He's at a skating clinic up here in Darien, Connecticut. So I was like, the earlier the better. I was up at 6 o'clock this morning driving up to Darien. So
all right,
I'm happy to join you guys and have a good rest of the show.
All right. Safe travels, Marc. Marc Malusis, PIX11 in New York, television, radio on WFAN. Hardworking guy, been in the market a while, keeps building himself up. Marc Malusis. Marc with a C, Malusis, Malusis on Twix.
Well, he painted a rosy picture of the Jets and the Yankees, didn't he?
Yeah. We didn't even get, I thought we'd stop the damage and not even get to the Giants. I actually think the Giants have had the best week of the three. And they lost Saquon to a rival. So, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? I mean, that's how I think it's gone in New York City this week, sports-wise.
It is something. And, I'm with Marc. I'm glad we didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about the Aaron Rodgers thing yesterday. I think it's laughable. People are like, well, could you imagine him debating? They're not getting on it. If he was picked, he's not getting on a debate stage. It's if we have a debate. Sorry. I'm done.
I think the threshold's 15%.
Which they'll never get to.
No, I don't believe he will either. Miller and Moulton. Trent Bally and the play of the day next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Are you ready to make March unforgettable? No, seriously. Get ready to be dazzled as Jason and Todd with the Diamond District invite you to their largest diamond event ever, featuring one of the world's largest diamond cutters, beginning Friday, March 15th, running through Sunday the 17th. Picture this, GIA certified diamonds ranging from 1 carat to a stunning 11 carat diamonds, all at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. No, seriously, the lowest prices. And that's not all. A. Jaffe, one of America's top bridal designers, will be joining the Diamond District for this extraordinary event. Whether you're searching for that perfect engagement ring to symbolize your love or looking to treat yourself to a timeless piece of fine jewelry, the Diamond District has exactly what you need. With their wide selection of fine jewelry at unbeatable prices, you're sure to find something that will take your breath away. No, seriously. Don't miss out on the biggest diamond event of the year, Friday the 15th through Sunday the 17th.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Have we decided if we're doing a draft show?
Probably.
We haven't.
A little early for that.
We haven't talked about anything beyond tomorrow. I say. But yeah, ambient, we probably will. We'll probably start drinking early. Were you that buzzed on the side the last time I saw you?
What's that? Sorry.
Yeah, did you just give yourself a mohawk?
Were you that buzzed on the side the last time I saw you?
No, I got a haircut yesterday, but before that I had a mohawk. I just wear hats all the time, so you don't really see it.
I was going to say, so let me get this straight. You have a healthy head of hair, and you walked in and you said, "Here's the deal. I want a divot.
I like high and tight.
Can you give me a divot?"
No, it's more like some nights I just
Did you do that yourself?
not this one, but I
Are
have
you
before.
sure?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mark, I'm just saying,
over under $19. What are we talking here?
Oh, way under.
it was 20.
Oh.
So- oh, that's funny. I get high and tight, and they always ask me. They're like, "Are you military?" I'm like, "Nope, I am not half. I'm not a quarter of the man the military is." Just don't like having a bunch of hair up there. I don't know. I'm sure. I'm sure someday I'll.
And there was no in-person interviews for Trent. The interviews went along this. This is about the interview went. Trent, I really don't think you should take this job. We don't pay any money.
The hours suck.
The hours suck.
And it's not an affordable place to live. And
By the
you're
way,
a young
honest to God,
person.
that is what Mark said. Honest to God.
You have to understand, I know Trent's dad very well. I was not going to put Trent in a situation where I felt that it would be a detriment to his lifestyle.
Right.
And he took the job anyhow.
Right.
I'm loving it.
And it just
I've never been to a Great Clips, Feeney. I go to a salon and overpay to have this at a haircut.
Well, you hate getting your hair cut, so you might as well make the experience
I go once every 3 months.
as likable as you can.
I can't tell. Great Clips, Supercuts. I don't know which one I go to, but I mean it's fancy.
I used to go to Sport Clips.
Me too. But then my parents stopped paying for haircuts a long time ago, and I had to downsize.
So, okay, did we finalize this poll question?
Oh, here we go.
Okay, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Steve Carney to talk a little Rays who are going through some pitching injuries as well. Major League Baseball season for 28 teams gets underway 2 weeks from today. Dodgers and Padres are going to play a 2-game series in Korea beginning a week from tomorrow. So we'll talk a little more baseball over the next couple of weeks. Steve Carney to join us. We'll focus on the Rays in a bit. So today's National Potato Chip Day. That got us fired up. We've been yelling at each other during the commercial breaks all show, mostly about potato chips. And then we've deviated off course, and we think we've stumbled upon the topic. Are we there?
Oh, we're there.
Okay. So what's the final product? Poll question of the day, with the inspiration being today is National Potato Chip Day.
An all-timer. And I don't think people like it because I can tell by early voting there's not a lot of votes on this sucker. So we may have to retool for the 8 o'clock hour as far as the poll question goes.
Did we overthink it? Did we get too cute?
We got too cute.
Nah, see.
Oh, what about? Come on, which New York team had the best week? I mean,
nobody cares. Okay, nobody cares. Okay, it's potato chips. There's mass appeal here. How did we screw up such a mass appeal topic as a potato chip?
In honor of National Potato Chip Day, which current NFL starting quarterback would be the Pringles of the NFL?
See, that's funny, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, that's funny. That's sophisticated.
We give you Kirk Cousins, we give you Tua, we give you Dak, and we give you Brock Purdy.
Because let's face it, most of you would not choose that guy to be the guy. Most of you do not think any of those 4 guys are going to win championships. You just think that this is the best I can get my hands on. That's a Pringles.
But this is the kicker. That's the Pringles to David. I think there's a Pringles cult out there that love Pringles. And to them, this question makes no sense because they're like, Mahomes is the Pringles of the NFL quarterbacks.
Honestly.
No one
thinks the Pringles is the favorite potato chip.
You don't think
they buy it
no one out there who
it's convenient. Packaging's convenient. You can take it with you if you've got kids. Okay, the mini Pringles, here you go. Okay, yeah, I can give them some crap, but I only give them a little bit of it. Okay, here you go.
And to David's point, and to a texter said it earlier, I've got a kid in the car who we're on the go between softball and soccer and gymnastics and eating in the car. You want a snack? Grab a thing of Pringles.
Totally.
You know what you're not going to do? Make a mess in my car with them.
When McDonald's got rid of the snack wrap, I cried for days. Honestly, my daughter was raised on it. I'm like, wait, what are you doing? This is like 2 meals a day. It's like 12 meals a week. What's going on? They're quick. They're easy. They were $1.59. You get 2 of them. Bada bing, bada boom.
I'm sorry. McDonald's had a snack wrap?
They did. They had a chicken snack wrap, a little fajita thing, a solid piece of chicken, and then just some lettuce, little cheese, and some fake sauce. $1.59. It was tremendous. Okay, I'd pull in, order 5, 3 for me, 2 for her. I'd give her bag in the back. Let's go. Boom. You got 18 minutes in between, like you said, one practice and another. We're going from soccer to gymnastics. Boom, snack wrap. It was amazing. Couldn't believe. I thought we were keeping the product alive just ourselves.
And don't forget to tip the McDonald's.
No.
I never do. That's a callback to our old conversation about David's mom.
Yeah, I know. She does. And she talks with them for like a long time. I'm like,
because that's what they want at the fast food places, for someone to take up their time and talk to them.
Although I have to admit, they know her by name now,
Well, what choice do they have?
I mean, they may know her as Crazy Lady, but, they know her. Yeah. And that's what I keep saying to my mom. Mom, we're in the drive-thru. Drive-through, not drive-stop. Right. Stop and talk. That's my mom. Let's face it. Come on. That's your mom, too. You get to a certain age, everything's become drive, stop, and talk. It has. It's no longer a drive-through. It's drive, stop, and talk.
I worry about anybody at that age going through a drive-through.
Well, there's a lot of people.
A lot of things they can bang into. I'd rather they park and walk in.
It gets a little narrow, especially when they do the double lane, and it gets a little confusing, and you got to weasel your way.
All right, so I gotta forward this. So this is our poll question in honor of National Potato Chip Day. Which quarterback is the Pringles of the NFL?
And we may have missed out. This is where I was worried. We went through this. We put Cousins, we put Tua, we put Dak, we put Brock Purdy, and I knew it would happen. It always does. That people chime in watching the show on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube, and Brian says, Russell Wilson is the Pringles of the NFL, fake and cheesy.
Ooh. I have to admit that somebody nominated Jimmy Garoppolo, something about pretty and well packaged, boring though, something like that.
So that's our poll question. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X.
All right. I guess we'll vote.
And we'll also get to Trent in the Molly Maid play of the day. Trent, what do you have for us today?
There were 43 games in men's college hoops yesterday. 43 at the D1 level. The best finish came early this morning, actually, a little over 5 hours ago. Abilene Christian versus Stephen F. Austin, the 6 versus 7 matchup in the WAC tourney. And the final 9 seconds were about as rich as it gets.
Lost the ball. Simmons up ahead. Simmons blocked at the rim. What a play by Christmas. 1 second to go. Kajus for the win. Oh, it's good. Lumberjacks win.
Christmas came early for the Lumberjacks, or late, depending on how you look at it. It actually wasn't Christmas with the block. It was Jaleel Boburn Sends it to AJ Kajus, who just rips it at the right wing for the win. By the way, Stephen F. Austin was a 2.5-point favorite. So that was a bad beat for a lot of people. They win by 3, and they'll take on UT Arlington and another late one tonight in round 2. They're dogs in that one, of course. But you got to love that. That was at 2 a.m. Eastern time.
Who was it? Stephen F. Austin and
the
Abilene
Lumberjacks.
Christian?
And Stephen F. Austin beat, yes, Abilene Christian. I had to look that up.
I think our buddy Grant Boone then suffering a heartbreaking defeat there. He was courtside for Abilene.
Right.
By the way, the WAC's an interesting tournament. The top 2 seeds, they advance to the semifinals. So Grand Canyon and someone else is through to the semis. And then the 3 and 4 seeds got first round byes. And then these, there were 2 games last night. The 2 winners play, the
3 and
4s tonight in the quarters, and then they advance to the semis. So if you're a top 2 seed in the WAC, you got to win 2 games.
I don't mind that for the little conference, because what they're trying to do smartly is ensure that their best team has the best opportunity to win the conference.
Yep. Yeah, the team that should go to the tournament gets to go.
Former FGCU AD Ken Cavanaugh was adamant about that with the ASUN. That's why he wanted home games and he wanted reseeding, because he wanted to give the top 2 teams in the conference in the regular season the best chance, play as many home games as possible, and the best draw.
Helps at the gate for the home teams because they've had a good year, so people are into their seasons, and so that's a positive. And if you're these little conferences, you want to knock off a big boy, and you don't want to do it. Was it Wagner beat Merrimack? Merrimack was the 1 seed. Wagner was like the 6 or 7 seed in that conference. They have no legitimate shot to win their play-in game, let alone a game against a 1.
But McNeese State, a winner last night. I'm telling you, we got some good 13s and 14s in this tournament. We really do. Colgate won last night. McNeese State won last night. All the teams that we've needed to win this week to have potential first-round upsets have really been winning. Miller and Moulton. Steve Carney. He will join us next. Thanks for being with us.
Law firm Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Sorry about that, David. I thought you were done.
No, I should have been done. I misread your cues. That was on me. Okay. Mello, we're having Donnie Jones tomorrow, 7 a.m. Stetson, Head coach tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pat at 8. Feeney active. Come on now, active. Besides, Phillip Rivers is going to garner serious Hall of Fame consideration. Don't know if he gets in, but he will garner. I'll bet you, Feeney, he's a finalist at least once. Yes, Michael. We've been what? Mark, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, right? That's our outlets.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Michael. Appreciate the support. Hope you enjoy the show. Now, Mello, it'd be very difficult. Like we got really fortunate last year when we had Dusty May and Larinaga there, and they agreed to come on with us constantly. It helped that we had them before the regular season was over. And so they came on with us throughout the tournament. But I think, plus Stetson might be in a play-in game, although I've seen draws where they're just a straight 16 seed. I got chills.
One of the kids Jake played travel ball with is the first round pick of the Rays from like 5 years ago. Played in Durham last year. He's on the 40 man. Greg Jones is his name.
Okay.
But it doesn't look like he's going to make the team.
Yes, it is, Feeney. In fact, I got to reach out to Vern.
Oh, by the way, when I called Mark, he called me John. Morning, John.
Oh,
yeah, because John gave me his info.
Okay.
We first got him through John.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense. I just thought it was funny.
I was trying to get him on for like this time next hour. And
here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes before the hour. Thanks so much for being with us, Ron Sirak. We'll talk a little golf. TPC getting underway right around now in the greater Jacksonville area. Steve Carney, well, he founded and he works for stpete9.com, stpete9.com. He also hosts the Under the Orange Roof podcast. Follow Steve on Twix at Steve Carney, Carney. Steve, it's David and Mark again. Hope spring training is treating you well. How are you?
Yeah, spring training is treating me fantastically, and things are well. I hope things are going well with you as well.
All right. Miller and Moulton over the years have gotten a vibe from certain teams in spring training. The most famous one with the Rays was in 2008, when we all know they had never done anything before, and they had that brawl with the Yankees. And sure enough, that was when the Rays started winning, whether it was coincidence or not. Those that covered the Phillies in 93 came out of Clearwater and said, there's something different about this team. I actually think they're going to be pretty good. And they went all the way to the World Series. Just curious, you traveled throughout the Florida in spring training. I know you spent a lot of time with the Rays, but is there a team in which you're like, I got a good feeling this year?
Right now, because I haven't seen Baltimore this year, I can't. That's the one team I'm most curious about. But of all the teams that I have seen so far this year, Atlanta has been the team that I've gone, wow, that team is really got something going. And I say that about the Braves a lot, over the last 3 years or so. That's the team that has really impressed me the most of all the teams that I've seen over spring training. And this year is no exception. The Braves are just so strong, and it's really impressive to see what they're doing day in and day out.
Who's been making the biggest impression so far with the Rays in spring training, Steve?
For me, it's Jonathan Aranda. This is a guy that has really got to be able to show something this year. He's come up the last couple of years, and he's been the first year he came up in 2022. He kind of looked like he was overmatched both at the plate and in the field. Last year, it seemed like the bat started to get behind him a little bit, which is good. But still, this is a guy that really has struggled to find a place for himself in the field. And I think that's one thing that I think that the coaching staff really wanted to see from him this year. He handled himself well at first base. And the bat has certainly come to life here in March, which is a good sign. He's hitting, I think, 414 for the spring with an OPS of like 1,200, which is great. Would love to see that carry into April. And if that happens, I think Rays fans will be very, very happy.
Steve, how many question marks, legit at the start of the season, question marks are the Rays going to have? Because there's been a decent amount of turnover. You've got the injuries with the pitching staff from last year that carry over. They trade Glass now. Now Taj Bradley with, an injury that's at least going to keep him out to start the season. I mean, is this Rays team going to start the year with more question marks than they've had in a while?
They are. And part of it is due to injury. I think Bradley's pec strain is going to be a piece that is going to really throw the starting pitching depth a curveball, pardon the pun. But, are you going to go with a guy that's not on the 40-man roster to start in your starting rotation? This year, it certainly looks like that is a possibility, whether it's Naoyuki Uesawa or Jacob Waguespack or Jacob Lopez. Who knows what ends up being going with the fifth starter role, because I think they also want to keep Shane Boz's innings down, so I don't think he starts the year in the rotation either. So I think that's probably one of the biggest question marks. Of course, the question mark of who's going to start at shortstop because of the whole Wander Franco thing and Taylor Walls not being ready to start the year, and they're bringing in Jose Caballero and then signing Ahmed Rosario. I think that's a big question mark. Now with Johnny DeLuca breaking his hand in the Dominican Republic. I think probably your fourth outfielder position is in question, and who's going to be the utility infielder that you lean on this year. I think those are probably 4 question marks. Whereas over the last 5 years, we've come out of spring training maybe with 1 or 2. And this year we're probably going to have twice that.
And last year, obviously, the Rays got off to that tremendous start and were able to just maintain from that point forward. It sounds like this year, getting off to a good start is going to be a lot more difficult for them. And Steve, the way you're talking, we always look at the Rays as a top 2 or 3 team in the division. Do they enter this year as the 4th best team in the East?
I think there's a possibility they could be the 4th best team in the American League East this year. I think that, but I've said all along that any one of those 4 teams could be first. I think any one of those 4 teams that we talk about in the American League East could be 4th. And I think all 4 of them are going to make the playoffs anyway. So it could be very, very interesting.
Steve Carney, stpete9.com, stpete9.com. Also, listen to the Under the Orange Roof podcast. We're talking spring training baseball, a lot of focus on the Rays. Follow Steve on Twix, at Steve Carney, Carney. All right. You're probably going to laugh about this. You're going to say, I can't believe I go on these guys' show. They ask the dumbest questions. But 2 years ago, the Rays reportedly offered Freddie Freeman 6 years, $150 million before he signed with the Dodgers. Do you think that the Rays would, could, or should, at the last minute here, call Boris and say, hey, Jordan Montgomery, 4 for 100, let's go? I mean, because you know what we're talking here. I mean, a durable starting pitcher.
Yeah, I certainly get where you're going with it. The Rays and Scott Boras have not had the best of conversations when it comes to free agency, and I think that kind of makes it tougher because I truly feel that Scott Boras does not want any of his clients in Tampa Bay. I think that if Scott Boras had his way, all of his clients would be in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, or Washington because of Boris's great relationship with Mike Rizzo over the years. And I think that if Scott Boras had his way, there is no way that he would have any of his clients, and that includes Randy Arozarena, on the Tampa Bay Rays. So I don't see a situation where they could be calling for Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, JD Martinez, or the like. So I as much as I would like that, and I'm sure that there are certainly plenty of Rays fans out there, and I deal with them all the time on social media that say, just give Blake Snell a 1 or a 2 year deal. Well, the problem is that Scott Boras is completely aware that if Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell sign a 1 or a 2 year deal, the downside on it completely outweighs the upside because the first time that one of those 2 guys has an issue injury wise, that means they'll probably never get a big free agent contract ever again. Those 2 guys are holding out for as many years as possible because that's what's in their best interest.
We've already addressed the starting pitching, which means that the bullpen's going to get taxed, particularly in the first part of the year. Are they ready, and can they handle the innings that they're most likely going to have to throw the first couple months of the season?
I think that's probably a great question. I would think they are, only because of the fact that you've got a couple of guys that are going to be in that bullpen that are at least going to be stretched out to work multiple innings. Right now, Tyler Alexander and Chris Davinsky are stretched out to work about 2 innings, and the plan is to stretch them each out to work about 3. And if they can do that, I think that really cuts down on the number of arms that you have to use over the course of a 5-day period. So if you're able to do that and keep one of those guys or both of those guys stretched to 2 or 3 innings, I think that is going to be a huge plus for this team, especially if you can get them to work 2 innings every other day or 3 innings every third or fourth day. I think that's big.
Well, Steve, safe travels. Make sure you get to Sarasota to see the Orioles, and hopefully we could talk again right around opening day.
I look forward to it, guys. Thanks again.
Steve Carney, it's stpete9.com. stpete9.com does a really good job covering the Rays. And then he does a podcast. Under the Orange Roof is the title of the podcast. You can follow Steve on Twix. It's Steve Carney, Carney. So, a little baseball. 2 weeks before opening day for the masses. I mean, Dodgers, Padres doing their thing a week from tomorrow out of the country, but 2 weeks today will be opening day in the States, so to speak.
Yeah, but those other games in Korea are going to be on at like 3 a.m, 5 a.m. They're going to be fantastic.
Do you and your AM Sports channel have exclusive rights to those Major League Baseball games in Korea?
We're negotiating.
What are you, Boris? You holding out for the very last minute? Do you do these deals? It's March 14th, and these guys aren't in camp yet.
How about Steve Carney? If Boris had his way, he would not have one player on the Rays roster.
Well,
I don't think he's wrong.
No, they don't want to do long-term deals. They don't want to throw around big-time money. If you're an agent, I mean, really? Are the Rays choice 1, 2, 24?
28,
I was gonna
29?
say, I mean, the Rays, Marlins, and A's are probably the last 3 choices, right?
I would think so.
I got to admit, I think if you get Jordan Montgomery, a durable guy, pitches deeper into games than Blake Snell, the Snell-Rays relationship got ruined in the World Series. It did. Blake Snell wants no part of coming back pitching for Kevin Cash in the Rays. None. But I'm telling you, 1 year Jordan Montgomery right now, $25 million. I have no idea what's going on out there. Multi-year offers, this, that, and the other thing. I don't think he's been offered $25 million a year by.
I don't think he'd accept it. I don't think Boris would let him sign a 1-year deal, David. I really don't. I don't care what the money is.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, clearly, because I'm sure somebody's offered him 1 or 2 years, and they're holding out. And they're playing poker right now. Boris is playing poker with the other teams. But the Red Sox have lost starting pitching. They haven't signed either one of them. The Yankees now look as if they're going to lose some starting pitching. I will be shocked if the Yankees don't sign one of Boris's 2 pitchers, though. If Garrett Cole's going to start the year on the DL and Carlos Rodon, their number 2 starter, is thrown batting practice so far in spring training. Batting practice. Has no velocity on his fastball, is getting pounded. There should be concern with the Yankees. Is the AL East not going to be as good? I mean, you know.
Well, that lineup for the Yankees is going to score runs that in the likes that I think we've never seen before. Stanton could hit 7 in this lineup.
Yeah, he could. He could. It's a huge year for him. He's lost a bunch of weight, and he knows he's got to stay healthy. He's got to produce.
He hasn't so far in spring training. But
Aaron Judge nursing an injury, missing a week. Same week that Garrett Cole's elbow. That's why it's kind of gone a little under the radar.
I want that lineup to stay healthy because they're worth watching every damn night, David. They really are.
I know. You're excited. Juan Soto's going to have a monster
year.
He may hit 50. He may hit 50. In that ballpark, he may hit 50 home runs. Calvin Ridley signed a 4-year, $92 million deal with the Tennessee Titans. Of all the NFL free agency news from yesterday, that was probably the biggest. Joe Flacco is now with the Colts, which is interesting because Anthony Richardson, A, can he stay healthy? B, can he play? I mean, they're going to play him, but we don't know if he's any good. So, and I think that's why Flacco said, yeah, let me go there. I might end up playing there. And this is kind of a goober thing, but Trev Alberts left Nebraska for Texas A&M, a guy who's Mr. Nebraska. And he left, and he was a very well-paid AD at Nebraska, top 3 in the Big Ten, top 10 in the country, and he left to go to Texas A&M. Kind of the headlines in the sports world from last night. Miller and Moulton. The Players is getting underway right now, in fact. Ron Sirak to talk a little golf. I'm Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Are you ready to make March unforgettable? No, seriously. Get ready to be dazzled as Jason and Todd with the Diamond District invite you to their largest diamond event ever, featuring one of the world's largest diamond cutters, beginning Friday, March 15th, running through Sunday the 17th. Picture this, GIA certified diamonds ranging from 1 carat to a stunning 11 carat diamonds, all at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. No, seriously, the lowest prices. And that's not all. A. Jaffe, one of America's top bridal designers, will be joining the Diamond District for this extraordinary event. Whether you're searching for that perfect engagement ring to symbolize your love or looking to treat yourself to a timeless piece of fine jewelry, the Diamond District has exactly what you need. With their wide selection of fine jewelry at unbeatable prices, you're sure to find something that will take your breath away. No, seriously. Don't miss out on the biggest diamond event of the year, Friday the 15th through Sunday the 17th.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. So, there's a Twitter site called The Warmonger.
Okay.
Just a bunch of stats, but just like a long-term, it just says, forget 300 wins. A long-term injury to Garrett Cole means there's no pitcher will ever reach 200 again. There are 4 active pitchers who have over 200 wins. The next closest was Garrett Cole at 145. Now, I think that's crazy to say he won't get to 200, but it is interesting. After that, Chris Sale's got 120. He's 34. The active leader under 30 years old is Barrios with 83 wins.
Well, if you think about it, if you win 15 games a year for 13 years, it's 195.
Correct. 1070, I think gets into Sarasota, Feeney, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it might not get there. I know it gets to Venice. I'm not sure it gets to Sarasota. There is not a news talk, sports talk station in Sarasota. They basically get DAE from Tampa. Believe me, we have called around. We have tried to get into Sarasota. But there seems to be no station whose format fits even remotely ours. Oh. So right now, would you bet on the Rays to make the playoffs?
No.
So we go 3 from the East, which means 1 wild card available. So the second place team in the West, right?
Yes.
So that's the same as last year when we had 3 from the East, 2 from the West, and the Central.
Ooh.
Brewers just lost their closer yesterday for half the year.
Oh, wow. Van Pelt played it earlier. What a basically a 3/4 court pass. Kid hit the 3-pointer to go to the state finals. And here's our Stephen F. Austin. That is a hell of a seat. That's wow. That play-by-play guy did a pretty good job on that Abilene Christian sequence there. Dun, dun, dun.
All right, Ron's good to go, and here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Marc Miller and David Moulton.
Third and final hour along the network on this Thursday. By the way, Pat Kerwin and Stetson's men's basketball coach, Donnie Jones, on the show tomorrow. Ron Sirak, kind enough to join us once again. The players getting underway at Ponte Vedra. Ron, of course, an award-winning golf writer. RonSirak.com is where you can read most of his work these days. Sirak, RonSirak.com. And follow him on Twix at Ron Sirak. Ron, David, and Mark, once again, how you doing?
Good morning. Always an exciting week for the players, Fun golf course to watch, and got a lot of players at the top of their game. Scotty Scheffler going in, and in the 50 years they've played this tournament, nobody's ever won it back-to-back. He's got a chance to do that this week.
Well, and after the way he putted on Sunday, if he brings that putter to the players, it's a one-man tournament, isn't it?
If he's going to putt like that this year, then everybody's playing for second place every week. I mean, we've seen it the last couple of years. From tee to green, he's been by far the best player in professional golf, but he struggled with the putter. He switched last week to that mallet putter, and all of a sudden, everything's going in. Now, the word of caution here, all of us who play the game know this. Every change always works for about 2 weeks, and then you're going back to being who you used to be. So we'll see if it holds up. But, boy, he putted lights out last week.
Well, and Ron, I know it's an analytics world nowadays, and so we have more information at our disposal, but Scheffler's tee to green game the last couple years has truly been Tiger-esque, hasn't it?
It has, and And the difference was when Tiger was playing that way, tee to green, he was also making every putt that he looked at, which is why he's got 82 wins and 15 majors. And if Scotty can marriage those things together, that tee to green game with getting the ball in the hole once you get the ball to the green, then he's going to be able to take what's already been an impressive career to an entirely different level.
All right, obviously, with what's going on in the golf world, we know the field isn't as great as it's been at the Players, but this is still a featured tournament. Does it feel like the fifth major this year, or with LIV, does it have a little bit of a, off feel?
No, it's still probably going to have the strongest field of any tournament this year. It traditionally does have the strongest field of every tournament. And if you look, there aren't that many. There's only about 2 or 3 names missing that you would like to see there. What I found interesting this week is listening to players talk. I think that they're as impatient, certainly, as we are as fans, and I think that they are as confused as we are about what's laying ahead for this LIV PGA Tour merger that's supposed to happen. I think everybody is as baffled as we are about how this is going to move forward.
I mean, it's been 9 months, Ron. I mean, the June 1st was the day, right, in which Monahan went on CNBC. I mean, it's over 9 months, and nothing seemingly. I mean, why? What do you mean? How can they be this far apart 9 months after they basically announced, we got a deal and we'll work out the specifics? And 9 months later, they apparently aren't close.
Yeah, I think that they're dealing with several different issues here. One is what's the make good to the PGA Tour players who stayed loyal to the PGA Tour and didn't jump for the money to go to LIV. Then there's all those regulatory agency questions that are there. Congress wants to see the books of the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. That's never going to happen. They're never going to open their books up and let congressional leaders take a look at that. That's going to be a problem. There are still a ton of obstacles ahead here, and it's almost like they have to try to figure out a way to coexist without it actually being an official merger.
Rory McIlroy and a couple others saying the tour is stronger now than it was before Jay Monahan took over. It's tough to hear that for me to believe it, Ron, because the ratings are down. We've lost big time players to LIV Golf, and the golf fan, as you've mentioned a couple times, is really confused right now. I don't know if there's an easy fix for the golf fan because they seem torn. Is there a fix to this in your eyes, Ron?
I don't see it right now, and I think we're a ways away from that. And here's the scarier thing: all those things that you said are true, but even more importantly, and I saw the other day, Commissioner Monahan said that his constituency is the fans out there. That's sort of true, but his real constituency are the sponsors, the people who write the checks. And they've already lost 3 big-time sponsors going ahead. Wells Fargo, Farmers Insurance have pulled out. Honda pulled out of the tournament in Palm Beach Gardens. And they've lost some big-time sponsors who all of a sudden saw the nut that they had to carry. The put up for them was doubling, going from $10 million a week to $20 million a week. And also, what's the impact going to be the next time TV negotiations come up? Because if there's one thing that we know that nobody in the financial world likes, it's uncertainty. And if the tour can't say, we're definitely going to have these players playing on our tour, it's tough to sell your product. So those are huge, huge, troubling obstacles ahead for the PGA Tour.
Hey, Ron, besides Scheffler, who needs to, start winning here? That the PGA Tour, Jay Monahan's got to be thinking, man, listen, could you guys start winning some tournaments? Okay, please. It would really help if you get, because, these first-time winners, they're cute stories, But, I mean, don't they need Hovland, Shoffley, Finau, I don't know, Fleetwood? I mean, don't they need some of these?
Rory McIlroy would be the biggest one there. It's been 10 years since he's won a major championship, and if he could get back to being the way he was 10 years ago, that would be huge for them, because Rory is everything that you want. He's an exciting, dynamic player, hits the golf ball a million miles. He's articulate. He's very giving in terms of doing interviews and fan interaction and stuff. He would be somebody. But we're seeing a troubling thing of this players not being able to build on success. We're seeing Victor Hovland go through that right now. Last year, he made enormous progress with his short game, became one of the top players in the world. And this year, seems like, he tinkered with his game. He made some changes, and it seems like he's taken a step back. Scotty is the only player who's gotten to the top of the mountain and seems like he's willing and capable of staying there. But the single most important person I think the tour could have who needs to have a big year this year that would help them is McIlroy.
Who do you like this week that's not named Scotty Scheffler? Who's a couple of guys that aren't Scheffler that you expect big things from at the Players this week, Ron?
Well, this is a golf course that if you drive the ball really well, you can attack this golf course and you can go low. I was there when Greg Norman went $1 billion under par, and Greg Norman was the greatest driver of the golf ball I'd ever seen until Rory McIlroy came along. So I think that Rory's going to definitely be in the mix here. Max Homa seems to be a guy who's always on the leaderboard, always in the mix, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him give it a shot going down the stretch. And a guy who has still looking for his first PGA Tour win. He's got 6 second-place finishes, and I keep thinking this is the week he's going to do it, is Cam Young. He's another guy who drives the golf ball really well, really far, and if he's got his A game with the driver this week, could really go low on that golf course.
Ron, if the PGA Tour could do one thing differently over the last 2.5 years, would they go all the way back, and would they have taken Phil and Norman seriously, or would they have not gone with this new system of elevated tournaments, and basically half their tour is very LIV-ish, and then the other half seems to go against everything the PGA Tour has always been about? I'm just curious, if you think they could have a mulligan for one thing, what would it be?
Yeah, I don't know if they could have done anything different, because the one factor here that they can't control, it's hard to go up against a competitor who doesn't care whether they make a profit or not. And, and the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia is a bottomless pit of money. They're losing money on Live Golf. They're losing a lot of money on Live Golf. And they're okay with that. The PGA Tour can't do that. No other organization can do that. So I don't know what they can do differently there. Also, there's sort of always been a group of players in professional golf on the PGA Tour who wanted to have smaller fields playing for more money. And I always think the strength of the PGA Tour is the 156 player field, is those Monday qualifiers, all those doors that are open for players like a Nick Dunlap to sneak in and win a golf tournament. And the changes that the tour could have made to hold off Live would have been to change the very essence of the PGA Tour. And I'm already not comfortable with some of the changes they've made, going to more no-cut events, going to more smaller field events. But the bottom line is, tough to compete against somebody who does not care whether or not they turn a profit.
Ron Sirak, talking golf with Ron, one of the best writers of golf over the last 50 years. RonSirak.com, SIRAK, RonSirak.com, and follow him on Twix at Ron Sirak. Ron, safe travels, all the best.
Always a pleasure. Talk to you down the road, my friends.
Ron Sirak, who's also excited. He's a big baseball fan, and he's a Red Sox fan, but he's just excited we're going to have baseball also.
I'll get a little more fired up for the players as the day goes on. I like this tournament a lot. This is fun to watch because the course sets up for great shot making.
Yeah. Yeah. They got holes out there that are eagle double holes. Absolutely, they do. I mean, the finishing stretch, 16, 17, 18 with all the water, I mean, you literally could be up 4 and lose. So I'm with you. Miller and Moulton. Thanks for being with us. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on Twix.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Are you ready to make March unforgettable? No, seriously. Get ready to be dazzled as Jason and Todd with the Diamond District invite you to their largest diamond event ever, featuring one of the world's largest diamond cutters, beginning Friday, March 15th, running through Sunday the 17th. Picture this, GIA certified diamonds ranging from 1 carat to a stunning 11 carat diamonds, all at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. No, seriously, the lowest prices. And that's not all. A. Jaffe, one of America's top bridal designers, will be joining the Diamond District for this extraordinary event. Whether you're searching for that perfect engagement ring to symbolize your love or looking to treat yourself to a timeless piece of fine jewelry, the Diamond District has exactly what you need. With their wide selection of fine jewelry at unbeatable prices, you're sure to find something that will take your breath away. No, seriously. Don't miss out on the biggest diamond event of the year, Friday the 15th through Sunday the 17th.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Mega Millions is 800 million.
Oh, so no one won yesterday, huh? Or Tuesday.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
By the way, to spite the poll question, I went to the vending machine, got a bag of Ruffles. That's all they had. And it was cheddar and sour cream, and it was delicious. Crushed it.
Have you ever toasted a Pop-Tart?
Mm-hmm. By the way,
cinnamon, is that what you're eating?
Apparently, yes. Apparently, the snack wrap is coming back next year.
Start the countdown.
Well, it's good. The grandchild's almost ready for solid food, so that's a.
I literally texted my daughter and said, there is a report that McDonald's is bringing the snack wrap back. You were raised on them. I think they are doing this solely so that your daughter can also be raised on them. And she just texted, oh my God, this is the best news of 2024 so far.
Okay, so it was just the snack wrap. There wasn't like variations of it.
No, no, it was it.
So it's one thing.
Yep. There's fake chicken. Not breaded, though. It was just a piece of, fake chicken like you'd get at Subway. The old Subway
Yes.
chicken grilled sandwich. I know they've improved their product here lately, and so it was like a small oval shaped, and they wrap it in a fajita with shredded cheese, a little bit of lettuce, and a mayonnaise type sauce.
By the
Yeah.
way, do you guys like Subway?
No.
Well, Mark, you don't like any fast food. I forgot about that.
No, but I mean, I don't like Subway because it's the bread's so sweet. I like.
So
I
you like Jimmy John's?
I like Jimmy John's.
Okay.
I will say I'm a Jersey Mike's guy. I will say
I like Jersey Mike's the best.
Subway has improved their product, but it's still, like I don't think it medals. I don't even think it's a bronze medalist of subs.
Okay. Well, do you guys consider the sub shops fast food or no? Like not
no,
not a real.
I
sub
consider
shop.
Subway probably as close to fast food as it is.
Okay.
But
because you can get it at a drive-through. That's kind of my criteria.
I like Firehouse
Publix
better
sub
than
yet?
Subway.
Have you had a Publix?
Yes,
Okay,
those are
see,
awesome.
it's hard to go anywhere else for a sub down here when you go to a Publix and get that good of a sub.
Yes. When I was living with my aunt and uncle, they would always go pick those up for like lunch. And
Also, and while I think Jersey Mike subs are better, they're far pricier. So that's the other thing. The public sub is a good value.
Best
Always
value.
I like Firehouse better than Subway. Jimmy John's.
I agree with that.
Okay.
get the firehouse.
The hook and ladder at Subway at Firehouse is solid.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes after the hour, final hour along the network. The Diamond District bonus hour awaits at the top of the hour for our loyal 239 audience. So did we screw up the poll question? Did we take a dunk, an absolute dunk? You know, Daniel Gafford of the Mavericks, who's 33 for his last 33 over his last 5 games. Did we miss a bunny with the poll question?
I think so. Based on the number of votes we have, it's not even I think so. I know so.
Man.
We were too cute, too snarky. Because the show started out, we found out it was National Potato Chip Day, and David immediately bashed Pringles.
Okay.
I came up with the best, what's the best potato chip? And I said Lay's, Ruffles, Pringles. And I just threw those out there. And Moulton came off the top rope, unhinged at 6:14 this morning during the first commercial break and crushed me like he would crush a tube of Pringles.
Yes, because Pringles has its place in our society. It does. But it's not the best chip. There's no one who thinks it's the best chip. It's the most convenient. It's the less messy. The packaging is the best. It works. You can get them in different sizes. Okay? Trust me, it has a place, but not on a best of. We were just talking subs during the break. No one is going to say Subway is the best sub. They're a $1 billion franchise. It doesn't mean it doesn't have its place in America. Obviously it does, but it's not the best sub. It's convenient. There's a lot of locations. It
It's
hits
cheap.
the spot. It's cheaper than other places, but it's not the best. Come on now. McDonald's is number one in fast food. Outside of the fries, does anybody think the product that McDonald's serves is quote unquote the best?
Well, they might have the
No.
best snack wrap.
Well, they used to.
They used to have great Coca-Cola there too. Their mix, and I don't do McDonald's anymore, but they always had their fountain drinks were spectacular. Something whether
can
the
co-sign
lines,
that. They
whether
still
their
do.
lines were the cleanest, whatever they did, whatever the mix was, their Coca-Cola was fantastic.
So that was my point. Okay. And as you could tell, our first few commercial breaks on the show today were fiery. So that's all. I just said you can't put Pringles on a list of best of that.
And that's why these quarterbacks, none of them are the best quarterbacks. They all have their qualities.
Right.
They all have their warts.
So we combine the two. You guys love football. You love potato chips. We figured combine the two. Ha! And instead you both went, what the heck? This question doesn't do anything for me. I say tomorrow we ask the question that we should have asked. And literally in the poll question, we say yesterday was National Potato Chip Day, comma. Which chip do you like the best?
We go in flavors or brands. That's the, I mean.
Right. Then we just narrow it down to that. But we'll get a lot of response to either. Hell, my wife was giving me a hard time during the commercial break. She wanted to include like Doritos and stuff like that. I said potato chips. She goes, no. You guys are boring. Chips. I said, it's not National Chip Day. And then you got those that are saying Pringles isn't a chip. It's a crisp. It's a chip. They can call it whatever they want. It's a potato chip. It's in the category. Come on now. There is no potato crisp category. I mean, there's 8,134 national days. Potato crisp is not one of them.
Who was David Beckham in the commercial with last year? I think it was around this time of year where they were arguing over whether they're called chips or crisps, and it was a Lay's commercial. I think it was David Beckham and someone else. Might have been Brady. I don't know.
I think you're right.
Was it Tom Brady?
Of course, Miller and Moulton have gotten a kick, Trent, out of all the things that Brady is getting paid for that he doesn't eat.
Oh, Baby Jules in the Twitch chat room. Peyton Manning. Yes, that was
okay.
It was Peyton
Speaking
Manning.
of Peyton Manning, he's co-hosting the opening ceremonies of the Olympics.
Really?
It's going to be Tirico, from what I read, Tirico, Kelly Clarkson, and Peyton Manning for the opening ceremonies.
Wow.
And Peyton Manning, Tirico recruited Manning to do this, wanted Peyton Manning on this. Peyton Manning kind of said to Tirico, why? And they're looking at Kelly Clarkson from the fan experience, and they're looking at Peyton for the athlete, what they're in the head of the athlete type experience, even though he's not an Olympic athlete, obviously. But Peyton Manning at the opening ceremonies of the Olympics.
Interesting.
Really interesting. I didn't know he appealed to housewives that well, but he must.
Well, I mean, think of all the ads that he has. I mean, all those national companies would not be paying him if he didn't have mass appeal. But you're right. The Olympics are for women. I mean, he's selling beer or he's selling food or he's selling football. That's far more men than women.
Right.
The Summer Olympics are predominantly for women. So I get it. You have a talk show host during the day whose audience is women. That makes sense.
But I don't get the Peyton Manning at all. I'm interested to see how it goes.
People forget. You go back 30 years. Do you know who was the late night host for at least one Olympics, but I think two? The late night wrap-up Olympic host, 30, 60-minute show? Tim McCarver.
You're right.
It was in the 90s, but Tim McCarver was, must have, the PR people did it and go, you know who people like? They like Tim McCarver. Also shows you how well baseball was still thought of 30 years ago, that you could have a baseball announcer do the Olympics. But you know what the rumors are going to be in the industry? This is Tirico recruiting Peyton Manning so that when Collinsworth's done, okay, that he can get Peyton to join him in the booth to do football.
And I don't see that happening with Peyton.
I wonder if Brady's success or failure coming up is going to influence Peyton at all.
I think, because Peyton owns Omaha Productions. He's that thing's seemingly doing pretty well. And
very well.
Manning casts are a hit, and they seem much easier to do than to study up and have to be the color analyst where you're critiqued at a much different level.
Reportedly, Peyton is wooing Belichick for the Manning casts. Come on now. Tell me that's not intriguing.
Well, first off, I'm a fan of the Manning cast. I feel like on Monday night, we've already got someone who's got a really good perspective of what's going on in the main booth.
Yeah.
Since you're in it.
Yeah.
We've got that covered as well as we can cover. We've got Monday Night Football covered as well as any show in the nation.
Yeah,
and it's not close.
Yeah. Joe and Troy are okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and you know me, by Monday, sometimes I'm a little footballed out. So I need something different. And the Manning cast usually provides something a little different for that game.
And clearly, in the audience is shown, if you're remotely into the game, you watch the game with Joe and Troy. If you're, there's nothing on, I'll throw on the Manning cast. What the heck? Let's see who they have on, what they're talking about. That's the audience that they get. Belichick, though, with Eli poking fun at him. Bill, I beat in 2 Super Bowls. Come on. Bill's never been needled before. Peyton and Eli would needle him.
And we might find out if he has a sense of humor that they've always talked about, because he could needle back, which would be absolutely incredible. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on Twix. Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Are you ready to make March unforgettable? No, seriously. Get ready to be dazzled as Jason and Todd with the Diamond District invite you to their largest diamond event ever, featuring one of the world's largest diamond cutters, beginning Friday, March 15th, running through Sunday the 17th. Picture this: GIA certified diamonds ranging from 1 carat to a stunning 11 carat diamonds, all at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. No, seriously, the lowest prices. And that's not all. A. Jaffe, one of America's top bridal designers, will be joining the Diamond District for this extraordinary event. Whether you're searching for that perfect engagement ring to symbolize your love or looking to treat yourself to a timeless piece of fine jewelry, the Diamond District has exactly what you need. With their wide selection of fine jewelry at unbeatable prices, you're sure to find something that will take your breath away. No, seriously. Don't miss out on the biggest diamond event of the year, Friday the 15th through Sunday the 17th.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
When are you seeing Zach Bryan again?
July 22nd-ish.
Oh, so it's not for a while. Okay.
And actually, now that my kid's going to see the Bourbon Fest or whatever in Kentucky, and he's going to see him there. If Jake doesn't want to see him twice, I might just sell the tickets and double my money.
You definitely could.
I know.
Oh, wow.
What's that?
The Graduate Hotel chain just got bought by Hilton for $210 million.
Great hotels, Graduate.
It's funny. In some college towns, I think they're really cool. There have been a couple that we've been in which I went, I wouldn't stay here.
Okay, I could see that. I've only been to 2. Bloomington and East Lansing. Both were great. Of course, I can see how it would be a little campy for some people. They got bought by Hilton, so are they still going to be the Graduate, or is it going to? Okay,
I'm guessing
it'll just be like the Graduate by Hilton.
I was at. They put us in the Graduate in Ann Arbor. I thought that was okay. Like I hated the one in Arkansas. Hated. Oh my God. I'm like, oh, I would never stay here.
That is funny. Of all the places for there to be a bad Graduate, it's Arkansas.
Well, it just didn't, the way they did their decor and what have you, it just didn't work for me.
I gotcha.
Other places where they've done it, Missouri, they just purchased a place they're going to remodel and turn into a Graduate in Missouri. Ann Arbor. I mean, a few places that I've stayed, I'm like, oh, okay.
For our college radio show, we had to occasionally get ads, and we tried to get one from the Graduate in East Lansing. We tried so hard because it opened like, I think it was midway through my junior year. So it was brand new. And we were just enthralled by that place. Everything about it was just cool and unique. And they had a rooftop bar. We wanted to do live shows there. Nothing.
Ryan, you got to remember, a lot of guys were going to end up watching the opening ceremonies because their wives were going to watch it, and the TV gets commandeered by the lady of the house during the Summer Olympics. I got to admit, I think the opening ceremonies to the Olympics are kind of like the draft. If you think about how many of us watch the draft and how obsessive we are with it, and if you really break it down, it's stupid. And we don't care. We watch anyway.
I've told you that about the draft. I told you about that. I used to laugh at you guys watching 3 days of the draft. Like, I just get up in the morning and see what happened.
Right. And I mean, think about the opening ceremonies. People walking into a stadium for 3 hours.
Yeah.
To watch people walk around.
It's like the red carpet.
It's basically the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade once every 4 years. And that's like the highest rated thing on television that's not the Oscars or football.
David, have you ever watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
My daughter was in it.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Of course, he's from New York area.
Yeah,
of course, he's watched the parade. David, today in '97, this is an event of interest. Bill Clinton trips and injures his knee, requiring surgery. Was that with Greg Norman?
That was
Right?
Norman.
Right?
Down the staircase.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep. At Norman's house.
Uh-huh.
Yep. We're pretty sure Hillary wasn't there.
I just kept about 3 or 4 jokes in my head right there. And I think it was a really good idea. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Even for the Twitch audience.
Yeah,
not good enough.
No.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes until the top of the hour. Final segment along the network. The Diamond District bonus hour awaits at the top of the hour in the 239. Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on Twix. Today's National Potato Chip Day. We could have just asked you what flavor you like the best, what brand you like the best. That's too simple. We figured, you know what? We're going to throw a complicated zone blitz at you, and you guys are going to love it.
And you voted accordingly.
Guys are like, we're playing behind the Giants' offensive line. What kind of a question is this?
In honor of National Potato Chip Day, which current starting NFL quarterback would be the Pringles of the National Football League?
See what we did there? Combining football and potato chips?
Because according to David, no one has ever said Pringles are the best potato chip.
Ever.
Ever.
Including the people who make Pringles. Okay, honestly, there's no, if you work for Pringles, do you buy Pringles? Or do you go straight to Lay's and go, oh, come here. Oh, please come here.
You know what would be a great marketing campaign for Pringles is if they started filling their cans up halfway.
To replay this show?
They have gotten a lot of free advertising.
Ask Darren Ravel what this has been worth today. Holy cow.
It's probably been worth about $51.89.
Dak Prescott, by the way, leading the vote getters of the Pringles of the NFL. Kirk Cousins second, Brock Purdy third, Tua last.
Okay, think about it. Pringles. It's not that there's anything wrong with Pringles. It's just that they're not the best. They're never going to win the favorite potato chip, best tasting potato chip contest. But, okay, they're right there. They're dependable. They're reliable. They fill a need.
They may get you to the playoffs.
Right.
They're not going to win you a game in the playoffs.
Well, maybe a game.
Maybe.
And you know what? Maybe, who knows? Maybe one of the flavored Pringles you like more than the other. And, you get a good draw, late turnover. Pringles can go to a conference championship game. But, like the Tennessee Titans with Tannehill, Derrick Henry, that type of deal. But that's as far as they can go. So that's what we were thinking. And obviously, we overthought it.
By a long shot.
Right. So if you could vote and make us feel better, we'd appreciate it.
That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X.
So I'm curious, is there an NFL team that on Thursday morning you feel very differently about than you felt Monday morning? Either way. But is there a team in which you go, oh, wow, I really like what they've done this week, like a lot? Or the team in which you go, yeah, barring an amazing draft, I don't know if I'm going to pick them to go to the playoffs.
Well, Atlanta certainly is the team you have to look at that's done the most damage in a positive way, or done the most to benefit their team. Obviously getting Kirk Cousins in is such an upgrade over what they had last year at the quarterback position. It's tough not to think that they're much improved. I mean, that's the easy.
Okay, that's one. Give me somebody else, though.
Well, I do question what the hell the Carolina Panthers are doing as an organization.
They're spending a lot of money on offense is what they're doing. They bought 2 offensive linemen. They traded for a wide receiver. They were willing to sacrifice their defense to help their offense. They let Burns go for draft picks.
The defense that was the best part of their team for the last 2 years. It was
by far.
Actually, that's an incorrect. A defense that had the potential to be an upper echelon defense in the league if the offense had any sort of sensibility to it.
Oh, hell, that defense nearly won them the division in 2022. I mean, Brady's last year, remember, Tampa's hosting Carolina. Winner of that game is going to win the South. Panthers are leading the fourth quarter with Sam Darnold at quarterback.
So to get rid of your best defensive player didn't make a lot of sense, particularly what they got for him. And And then the big team would be what Dallas has not done. Now, I don't know if I'm ready to say Dallas isn't going to make the playoffs. But when you look at weapons and you look at what the Eagles just did to add Barkley with 2 good receivers and a really solid offensive line that's not going to be as good as it was last year, but it's still going to be a really solid offensive line. And you look at Dallas, who has done nothing.
And those are the 2 teams in that division that are kind of always in an arms race against each other, it seems. And they both had interest in Saquon. Jerry was all in. Evidently not. Not putting his money where his mouth is.
Think about, I don't think the Dolphins have had a good week. I think the Dolphins are worse today than they were Monday. And it's a real shame if you're a Dolphin fan, because I definitely think the Bills are worse today than they were Monday. I mean, Buffalo finally decided we've kicked the can down the road a few times and we got to get our books right. And, I mean, they got rid of their 2 safeties. Arguably the best safety tandem in the league. They're both gone. One of them's now with the Dolphins. I will say that. The Dolphins have actually made a few good signings on the back end of all they lost. I'm just not sure the signings make them as good as what they were Monday morning.
Well, you lost so many sacks that whatever they add on defense, I want to figure out how they're going to get to the quarterback this year.
The unfortunate thing also is they don't have a lot of draft picks. This is the one more draft where the Tyreek Hill trade and all the deals they've made for high-profile players, I think they have, a first, a second, and then they don't have a pick again till the 5th. So I think they only have 5 draft picks in this draft. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But
they've got a bunch of late rounders, but it doesn't, they've got a
okay.
first, a second, a fifth. They've got 2 sixths and a 7th.
Well, that's 5, right? Or 6. That's 6 picks
6.
they have. Okay.
They've got Chicago's 6th round pick.
Gotcha. So, I think a couple of teams who have made no high profile signings, really. I think the Rams and the Bengals have had a good week. And I like what the Bengals are saying to T. Higgins. Shut up and play for $22 million, okay? Just take the money and shut up. We know you're not going to be here next year. You know you're not going to be here next year, okay? If Joe's healthy, we can win a Super Bowl. Just shut up, okay? You'll get paid next year. Hell, Calvin Ridley just got 4 for 92. So we know what you're going to get next year. Somebody's going to give you 4 for 100. You're not going to get it from here. So try to live on $22 million for another year, and then we wish you the best. They just picked up the Panthers cut a safety, good player, and it's just kind of like the Russell Wilson deal. Carolina is playing the overwhelming majority of his salary. Cincinnati just picked up, they're going to pay him 1.2. I just couple teams under the radar, Bengals and Rams, I think, have had good weeks. You were saying, Trent?
Well, I just wanted to ask you guys. I mean, I know T. Higgins is a lot better than Calvin Ridley, but do you think he's going to get paid next year or whenever it is? Do you think he's a number 1?
I do.
Okay, and I don't, but he'll be a number 1 for somebody, and he'll be paid accordingly.
I just find that interesting, with the wide receiver market in particular. I think it's trending more towards maybe what happened to running backs might start happening to receivers. I know David kind of debunked that last week.
No, I don't think so. And here's the other thing that's about to happen. First of all, the receiver's career is longer, and it's longer at an elite level. But also, the cap's going to keep going up dramatically. I mean, we were, a year off, Mark, I think, with our calculations. We thought the cap would be at $300 million by next year. It's probably going to be 280-ish next year. It'll be $300+ million in 2026.
Well, when the Bucs brought back Mike Evans, I kind of casually threw out there to you guys, he's top 5 in the league. Then you start listing guys and you realize he's not top 5. And then, so I just think the position's deeper than it's ever been, and this
Agreed.
draft upcoming is awesome for receivers.
Right.
Correct.
And that's where you're going to get. But even look at how we just got done paying running backs. I mean, running backs actually got paid a little bit more than they did a year ago.
Yeah.
With the free agency. So with more money, they're paying running backs. With more money, they're able to pay ones a substantial amount of money. Where I think you'll see what you may be talking about is that teams are not going to be paying twos. And
if they are, they'll be short-term deals, no more than 2 years guaranteed. Like, that's the other thing about this Calvin Ridley deal. It's 4 for 92. It's basically 2 for 50.
But I'm just saying, I mean, you start listing guys like A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, Amon-Ra St. Brown, George Pickens. There are a lot of guys that, yeah, he's top 10, but then you really start listing the guys. The position is so deep right now.
I think Washington's had a decent week. Now, they had a ton of money, but a lot of their signings, I'm like, well, that's a solid player. I mean, I don't think they signed a star, but I'm like, well, that's okay. He makes them better. Yeah.
I think the Packers have had a really good week.
I do too. I like when you're not paying a tight end or a wide receiver more than $1.5 million, you can afford to pay a 26-year-old running back $12 a year.
And you can go get a safety and pay him a lot of money as well.
Right. So, and I got to be honest, this, to me, the Vikings this week are kind of like the Nixon presidency. Nixon did a lot of good things. That Watergate thing's really tough to overcome. All right. It's kind of like the Vikings. I actually think the Vikings have done a lot of good things this week. Losing Cousins is kind of tough to overcome, though. All the good signings, you lost Danielle Hunter and Cousins. Those other 6 signings, I like them, but I don't know.
I do think the Cousins thing's fascinating because if the Vikings would have paid him what Atlanta paid him, Minnesota fan would be up in arms over paying Kirk Cousins too much money. But they lost him, and they didn't pay him enough money. I do think the dilemma that the Vikings fan has with himself over Kirk Cousins is hysterical.
Do you think Vikings fan views Kirk Cousins as the Pringles of the NFL?
I do, but right now they need a snack.
Like if we were in Minneapolis.
There's nothing on the shelf. You know what's on the shelf? A bag of some potato chip you've never heard of before. And it's a small bag, and you're going, I guess I could eat that. Is that a Darnold potato chip? I guess we'll do a pinch.
Is that a Wise potato chip? Oh, I haven't had one of them in a while.
Well, they got sick of Pringles, evidently. Had too many Pringles over the years.
Because he was better than Pringles. Was he? Manager. Yes.
Was he really?
Yes. Yes, he
was. An
was.
Incredibly recognizable brand that isn't really as good as advertised. That's Kirk Cousins.
Really?
Yeah.
I agree.
And I like Kirk Cousins.
You're hearing this from 2 Spartans. I agree.
I like Kirk Cousins a lot. But like Pringles, he can get you to the playoffs, David. Once you get there, I don't know what he can do for you.
Now, relative to the quarterback market, too, of who is available this offseason, I think we are maybe overrating him just a little bit. He's going to be 36 coming off an Achilles.
Can I ask you a question? Everybody says Kirk Cousins only has 1 playoff win. Can you tell me how many times Kirk Cousins has been favored in the playoffs? Because the answer is once.
So he's never done more than what's expected of him.
He won 1 game when he was an underdog. Okay. And then he and the Vikings lost to the Giants 2 years ago in the playoffs.
Yeah, they did.
When they were favored. And he actually played pretty well, except for that final drive when it was like, Kirk, it was 4th and 10. You're throwing a 6-yard pass. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, also, you got to remember, I mean, they went to the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum. They paid Kirk Cousins all that money to essentially get them over the hump.
Right. He was there, Herschel. Right. He was brought in to take it. We went as far as we can go with these guys. You got to get us over the hump. And they didn't.
Are the Atlanta Falcons a Super Bowl contender today?
I think they're going to win the division.
No. It's not what it's not. Don't do that. Don't pull a Miller right now.
A Super Bowl
Super Bowl
today?
contender. Yeah.
Not today.
Okay. Then he's Pringles.
Hold on. They have the 8th overall pick of the draft. Okay. They're probably going to be a top 3 seed. They could have a Lions type year next year. A year ago at this time, if you had asked about the Lions, if they're a Super Bowl contender, would anyone have said yes?
Other than Trent, no, David, no.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Are you ready to make March unforgettable? No, seriously. Get ready to be dazzled as Jason and Todd with the Diamond District invite you to their largest diamond event ever, featuring one of the world's largest diamond cutters, beginning Friday, March 15th, running through Sunday the 17th. Picture this, GIA certified diamonds ranging from 1 carat to a stunning 11 carat diamonds, all at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. No, seriously, the lowest prices. And that's not all. A. Jaffe, one of America's top bridal designers, will be joining the Diamond District for this extraordinary event. Whether you're searching for that perfect engagement ring to symbolize your love or looking to treat yourself to a timeless piece of fine jewelry, the Diamond District has exactly what you need. With their wide selection of fine jewelry at unbeatable prices, you're sure to find something that will take your breath away. No, seriously. Don't miss out on the biggest diamond event of the year, Friday the 15th through Sunday the 17th.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6. And live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail
The
East.
law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hey, David, how did the show go yesterday?
It went okay.
How long was it?
Only 2 hours.
Okay. That's a breeze for you, I'm sure.
Oh, I know. I mean, they're all, I'm like, guys, this is, and of course, the great thing for me was that we had spent so much time and research on all the free agency moves. So I just had my show prep for Miller and Moulton in front of me.
Yeah, that's really nice. Not like there's anything to talk about.
Well, unfortunately, he wanted to talk about 5 things. So that was 5 segments.
Here you go.
There's only 8 segments in the show. If we took calls, we would get a lot of them. Miller and Moulton, separately and together, have always been good at getting the phones to ring. And so whenever I do a show for Sirius, I'm usually pretty good at getting the phone to ring. And they never take calls on that show. Hardly ever. And so the co-host was impressed because we took like 7 calls.
Oh, so Charlie liked it?
Yeah, he did. Because they're calling him. You know, nobody's asking for my opinion.
Right.
So when they call, hey, coach, what do you think about? Oh, I mean, so yeah. So Charlie, you know, late in the show during a break, Charlie's like, man, this is great. Kind of love taking these calls. Imagine that. And if you ever listen to that show, they need to take calls.
I used to. I never. I listened to. I was pretty religious about just listening to that network when I had Sirius.
I don't think so, Adam. I think Charlie is no longer getting paid. It wasn't UF. It was, and I know you're probably asking that sarcastically, but I don't even think he's getting paid by Kansas anymore. He's lost 120 pounds. Charlie Weiss over the last 14 months.
Taking the shots?
I don't think so, but I know he just his health was bad and he was having trouble moving and he said, I got to do something. So I don't know. But good for him.
Absolutely.
By the way, during the Summer Olympics, we can do a segment. I've thought about this, David. I'll bring you up to speed every day. I'll do a little recap of what the Americans did, and we'll call it Star Spangled Banter.
I like it. Here's the thing, though. Like, they're 6 hours ahead of us. So when we start, it's noon. So you're going to have to do the previous day, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just figured like a play of the day-esque type thing. We'll just quick rundown. Felipe 24-second shot clock memorial. Okay, here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It's the Diamond District bonus hour. Where else but Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on Twitter /X. I feel as if we're kind of catching our breath this morning. That the last 3 days with NFL free agency, Mark, was whew. And the power conference tournaments really get underway today. I know we had some early round action in the Big East and ACC, but today is what, like, Wake and Pitt are playing each other. I don't know if it's a play-in game, but the loser's definitely out, and the winner is like now right on the bubble. Probably needs to also win Friday. Michigan State, Minnesota.
I think Sparty has to win today.
I was going to say it's not a play-in game, but it's a play-out game, isn't it?
It could be. I mean, best case scenario for Sparty is if they win this game, they're in the play-in. Worst case scenario is if they lose this game, they're out.
So, that type of stuff's going on now in the conference tournaments. I've always argued Thursday, Friday is the meat of the Power 6 conference tournaments more than Saturday, Sunday. Because a lot of times the bid stealers don't make it to the weekend.
And Lord knows Sunday literally doesn't matter unless there is a bid stealer.
Well, in a lot of the tournaments now that they know that the committee by midnight Saturday basically has the field done, a lot of them aren't even playing Sunday anymore, right?
I think there's 2 games
On Sunday?
Yeah,
It's just the
Big Ten final,
championship,
and there's one before that.
Is it the
SEC, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
SEC is at like noon, I think. And Big Ten leads right into the selection show on CBS.
You know, like BC, Virginia, it's the late game tonight in the ACC. I think Virginia has to win.
Absolutely.
Because they are right on the bubble.
For everybody. Anybody you go to has them in a playing game. They lose that game, they're done.
You know, NC State's taking on Duke tonight. If you think NC State's got a snowball's chance, gotta beat Duke. And they're an 11.5-point dog.
God, I love NC State for one reason and one reason only. They're big man. He's round.
The big fella.
He's got to be 300. That's a large human, and he likes the ball. Love everything about that guy. I watched. If NC State's on, I stop what I'm doing and watch the big man play.
Wake and Pitt at 2:30 today, following the Florida State North Carolina game. And to me, the significance of that, if you happen to be near a TV and what have you, this could be it for Leonard Hamilton. Long time career, did good things at Miami, left Miami to go to the NBA. That failed miserably. Then Florida State has done really good things there. Never made a Final Four.
And he is 75 years old.
Right. Doesn't look it.
No, he looks great.
But the thought coming into this year was Coach Ham had to make the tournament to keep his gig. There's apparently a guy who's in the Sacramento Kings organization that is a Florida State alum that the whispers are that there's kind of a deal in place whenever the time comes. But he has to decide that he's apparently on the fast track to be an NBA head coach. And usually, you know, you go to Florida State, you're probably not going to be an NBA head coach ever. So he's got to make that decision. But so that's just it. If it's like 1:45 today and you're, you know, ESPN's on, you may just want to watch. This could be the last handshake for Coach Ham. Is that a hell of a career?
And that pandemic year, they were so good.
They were awesome.
They were going to go to the Final Four.
Patrick Williams was a top 5 pick, leading the charge. They were so good.
They were long. They were athletic. They could
were
score.
They were better than Houston is now. They were everything that Houston is now, only more talented.
With more offense.
26-5 was their record that year. I just looked it up.
Yeah. They were
I mean,
going.
in a year like this year, where it's kind of wide open, Florida State would have as good a chance as anybody if they were 26-5.
They were going to be a 2 seed.
That team might have been a 1 seed this year.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
They might have been the 4th 1 seed.
They would have been one of the
favorites. Because, I mean, you look at UNC's got a good shot at that from the ACC right now, and they were on top of that conference. So that team in this year's...
They were better than Tennessee is this year. They were better than Arizona is this year.
Agreed.
Okay, 6:30 tonight. By the way, the Big Ten tournament's only on the Big Ten network tonight.
At least it's not on Peacock.
True. But I'm just saying, you know, they've not on FS1. The Big East gets FS1. The Big Ten gets Big Ten Network. Just saying. I got to admit, I'm rooting for Ohio State tonight. I really want them to go. I want this interim coach to just make life so miserable for the powers that be at Ohio State. He's 5-1. They got Iowa tonight. It's a virtual toss-up.
Right. They're favored by 1.5.
Right.
I think they should be too. I think that's about right. But let me ask you guys this, because David kind of slipped this in yesterday. He thinks if Ohio State makes a run to the final and loses, they could maybe still get in.
No.
Mark says no, but
no chance.
I think if Ohio State's playing in the final, that's 3 wins. That's 22 wins. That's 8-1 with him as head coach.
They've got to win the Big Ten. Now, if they get to the final and lose, he can get the job.
I mean, Mark, if they win, I think they play Illinois.
Yeah, they're on Illinois' side of the bracket. That helps them out a lot. They can avoid Purdue until the final.
And then in theory, they're like playing Nebraska. I mean, listen, Fran at Iowa's had many a Big Ten tournament run too. I mean, I'm telling you right now, circle the Ohio State-Iowa winner. That team could do real damage in the Big Ten bracket.
Well, and you called it. If USC could win their first game, they have a shot. They beat Washington, so
And
we'll
they
see what
scored
the
80 too.
Right.
Which is, they've struggled offensively this year. That's 5-1 in their last 6, USC. They got Arizona, I think, today. That's the money game.
Absolutely. But if you're looking for bid stealers, Ohio State, USC, teams that could 8.5 Arizona's favored by. That game's at 3:00. That's the first one in the Pac-12 today.
SEC gets underway in earnest today. I know. By the way, Arkansas came from like 17 down at the half to beat Vandy in overtime last night.
Yeah, he gone.
You think?
Musselman?
No, Stackhouse.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. Tough year for the Razorbacks. I think the Razorbacks were 14th preseason.
I was going to say the only team more disappointing according to preseason polls than USC has been Arkansas. All those transfers, it just didn't work. What do you have, 7 or 8 transfers on this year's team?
7 transfers.
Gators with the Dogs, Mike White. Now, Florida's in. They can even lose this game. They're in. I mean,
they're a 7 seed.
Yeah, they're a 6-7 seed in the NCAA tournament. So even if by chance, and Georgia nearly beat them in the regular season, even if by chance the Dogs upset them tonight, though, I think the worst they'll do is fall into the 8-9 game.
Which I am so rooting for the Gators because we've been on them for a while now. And if they fall to that 8-9 line, David, and they have to potentially play the 1 seed in the second round, I'm going to like them a lot less to make a run, obviously.
Well, but
like if they're a 7 seed, David, I think they could beat a 2 if they draw Marquette or they draw Arizona. I think they could totally beat
I gotcha. And they won't put Florida if they're an 8-9. They won't put them. Let's just say Tennessee either as a 1 or 2. They won't put Florida as a 7 if Tennessee's a 2, and they won't put them in the 8-9 if Tennessee's a 1. So, figure out the 1s or 2s that they would likely then be paired up against.
The Gators could beat Houston. In one game, the Gators could beat Houston.
I agree.
They can run with them. They can definitely run with them. They're athletic enough.
They've got 2 really good guards, and they got 4 bigs who are versatile.
Just a sidebar. Georgia's in this game against Florida today in the SEC tournament because they beat Missouri yesterday, which means that Missouri went 0-18 in conference play and then lost again.
Georgia scored the last 10 points of the game.
That's hard to do, to go 0-19 in conference play.
In fact, they may have scored the last 12 points of the game. Missouri had like a 7-point lead with 3 minutes to go and lost.
And now all of a sudden, Dennis Gates, after Missouri finished 4th in the SEC last year and actually had a pretty good run in the SEC tourney, now his seat's going to be hot going into next year.
Hot?
Yeah.
Hot. The thing should have flames on it, for crying out loud. You lost 19 games in a row.
Well, I just bring that up because I thought they had a lot of promise last season.
Yeah, they won 25 games, made the tournament, won a game in the tournament. Yeah. And then come back the next year, go 0 for the SEC. Yikes.
So I just thought that little footnote was worthy of sharing about Missouri basketball. If you think your team's bad,
reality
I bring
check.
you Missouri basketball.
Gators Dogs at 9:30 tonight. It'll probably start a little later than that on the 4-letter network.
If you are like us and you love the sport of college basketball and you want to see some of these mid-majors, a UCF and Indiana State make the tournament, USF, excuse me, you are rooting for bid stealers. Let me just make that very clear. You're rooting for Ohio State. You're rooting for Iowa.
Ooh, no.
You want them to win the Big Ten tournament.
No, you don't. That because then they get bids. It's totally.
Well, okay.
You're totally wrong.
The reverse.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. You're 100% wrong, Trent.
You're right, but I guess what my point is that kicks off like a Michigan State. Or
You want Minnesota to beat Michigan State today, then lose their next game. That's what you're rooting for.
Okay, that's a better way to put it. Much better.
The Big East, by the way, is very lively. A lot of teams right around the bubble. St. John's, Seton Hall. The Hall is in. Do the Johnnies need to win? If they lose to Seton Hall, are they out? Does Providence have to beat Creighton to get in? I think they do. And then Nova has to beat Marquette tonight. And they had to hit a late 3 to beat DePaul as a 24-point favorite last night. That's the bubble conference tournament right there, the Big East.
So conference play starting at noon today. Great day of college basketball. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was a day one and what's on tap. That's 25 minutes ahead on Miller and Moulton.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Are you ready to make March unforgettable? No, seriously. Get ready to be dazzled as Jason and Todd with the Diamond District invite you to their largest diamond event ever, featuring one of the world's largest diamond cutters, beginning Friday, March 15th, running through Sunday the 17th. Picture this: GIA certified diamonds ranging from 1 carat to a stunning 11 carat diamonds, all at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. No, seriously, the lowest prices. And that's not all. A. Jaffe, one of America's top bridal designers, will be joining the Diamond District for this extraordinary event. Whether you're searching for that perfect engagement ring to symbolize your love or looking to treat yourself to a timeless piece of fine jewelry, the Diamond District has exactly what you need. With their wide selection of fine jewelry at unbeatable prices, you're sure to find something that will take your breath away. No, seriously. Don't miss out on the biggest diamond event of the year, Friday the 15th through Sunday the 17th.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
That last segment just got me so fired up to watch basketball today. As if I needed the extra push. There are great matchups on all day.
No doubt. I mean, just take a look at the teams that are last 4 in, first 4 out, and take a look at the games they're in. Telling you, the Big East could have a bad day today. Villanova, Providence, both supposed to lose. I think they're both out if they do. Seton Hall's a 10, according to Shelby. Nova's an 11. St. John's in a play-in. Virginia, by the way, in a play-in.
Virginia. Gosh, I put them with like Michigan State, where like if they lose and get in, I'll be furious because they just don't deserve it.
So Iowa, according to Shelby's, in the first 4 out. So
yeah, most people have them out right now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, quite frankly, then beating Ohio State, they need to do more than that. They then need to beat Illinois the next day.
Correct.
I think they got to win 2. Because Ohio State's hot, but beating Ohio State doesn't. It's not.
So in Shelby's case, next 4 out are both Pitt and Wake. They play each other.
Ooh.
Also, Providence's next 4 out. He's got Creighton as a 3 seed, though. So if Providence beats Creighton, is that enough to move them in?
Should be.
I think so.
They'd have to leapfrog 5 teams. But does a win against Creighton on a neutral floor get them in?
I think so. Today at 11:30 p.m. tonight, I might stay up to watch this. We'll see. New Mexico plays Boise.
Shelby has Ohio State on life support. He has a category on life support.
Which means they've got to win their tournament. That's his thing.
On life support, but probably dead. See, to me, that means they got to make their conference final.
No, I asked him the question yesterday, point blank, about Ohio State. Do they have to win the Big Ten to get in? He said yes.
But see, to me, that's not life support.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't really care then. It's his damn poll.
It is.
I asked him the exact question. He answered it, and you're disagreeing with his answer.
And I disagree.
Jesus.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all you need to know about this show right there. Or at least me. Marc's consistent. He asked the source gave him an answer, he believes him. Me, not so much. I think we woke the source up and the source is confused.
Shelby, how you doing this morning? I'm awake
up now. By the way, he's got McNeese as a 12. James Madison is a 12. Grand Canyon is a 12. Drake is a 10. He has Indiana State in. They're at 11. They're not in a play-in. And they're not last 4 in either. By the way, St. Louis is going to fire Travis Ford today, and apparently they're going after the Indiana State coach.
Who's going to get Dusty May?
I think it's going to be Ohio State, but
also, I have to throw this in here real quick before we get back on.
Could be Louisville, though.
Michigan finished 8-24, and someone said for Kobe. I just think that's so funny. 8-24. They did it for Kobe. Nice work, Jawan. All right, here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Marc Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today was the day when some final thoughts, a couple of picks. Ladies and gentlemen, I must divulge. We try to take you behind the curtain as much as possible without going too far. Sometimes we do. Marc Miller has placed good, hard-earned money on the Players' Championship. I repeat, Marc Miller, and half of that money is mine, he has placed on the Players' Championship.
Well, you're right. I used part of our money earlier to make 2 NBA bets that you wanted.
Right. Yeah, well, and if that's the case, then we lost. Because I've been terrible on NBA picks.
No. This was a while back. You said, we're going to bet this game. I got a feeling about this one, and they lost by 20. And I got a feeling about this one, and they lost by 15 or whatever it was.
Kind of like Trent's Rutgers feeling last night in a virtual pick'em against Maryland. How'd that go?
It didn't work out well for him. And Trent had been on a heater, too. You actually were on a bit of a roll.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I decided out of nowhere that I was going to bet the Players yesterday.
You were feeling it. It's probably because we had JP Shadrick on talking to the Players.
Think that's what it was. And I had 5 players, all win bets. I did take the favorite, basically hedging my bet. If Scheffler goes out and does what he's supposed to do, I make my money back plus a couple of dollars.
Right. Okay.
But
So
then I went for some odds.
Who are we riding here?
We've got Hideki.
Okay.
He's like 30-1.
Okay.
Zalatoris, same odds.
You like Zalatoris.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite guy on the PGA Tour.
He's got 2 top 10s this year coming back from the back injury. Good for him.
And if Zalatoris isn't my favorite guy in the PGA Tour, Victor Hovland's is a close second. I really like both of them.
You got really good value on Hovland.
He has not played well this year.
No, he hasn't.
Which is probably why his odds are as low as they are.
And then Sahith Theegala, who had a great Sunday at the Arnold Palmer and drives the ball really well.
And won earlier this year, didn't he?
Did Theegala win?
Lose in a playoff? He's had a couple of other top finishes.
Now, the only problem is they're already off at the Players, and Rory's off to a good start.
Not Matt Kuchar's start. Did you see Kuch? Teed off the back, par 4, par 5, par 4, started 3-3-3.
Yeah, and McIlroy's a hole behind him, and they're tied. McIlroy went birdie, birdie, birdie to start.
There we go.
So he went 3-4-3. And Kuchar made a bogey on his 13th hole. So after the 3-3-3 start, he brought one back. So they're both 3 under. Cantlay's 3 under and early going at the Players right now. Schauffele 2 under, another guy that people had high hopes for in this tournament as well, because his game's been pretty solid lately.
Well, I'm rooting for him also because he trashed the commissioner leading up to the tournament. He's like, I heard him the other day, and he was saying that he's, got the vote of confidence from the members. Doesn't have it from me.
I used to trust him, but not so much anymore.
Not anymore. Doesn't have my trust. He's got some work to do there. Hey, we talk about this issue a lot. I just want to, we have a poll question. And polling is big in America, Mark. I don't know if you're aware of that. And according to the Associated Press, they combined with another agency, and majority of U.S. adults are against college athletes joining unions. Okay.
I would want a second question to that poll.
Well, I think I'm going to want a third, but go ahead.
But mine would be very simply, are you in favor of unions? Because as a country, I don't think we're in favor of unions anymore. There was a time that unions were a very big part of our nation.
Correct.
The UAW was a huge union in this country. Obviously, the Teamsters union was always very big, but the numbers aren't what they once were.
I think it's single digits in terms of percentage of U.S. workers that are in a union. I don't think it's double digits. So, yes, that's a great follow-up question. Can I nominate one more?
Sure.
So the original question is majority of U.S. adults are against college athletes joining unions. Okay. My follow-up question is how many U.S. adults actually care? Like, I think there's more interest in our poll question today, which apparently there's very little interest in, than there is in America as a whole and the future of the college athlete.
For the record, Kirk Cousins has taken the lead in honor of National Potato Chip Day, which current NFL starting QB would be the Pringles of the NFL. Kirk Cousins getting nearly 35% of the vote. Dak Prescott with 29%, Brock Purdy 22%, and Tua is bringing up the rear.
That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable to me.
Well, I mean, Kirk Cousins, like Pringles, is a top 12 quarterback, top 12 chip.
Well, hold on, but you've got to do it comparatively. How many brands of potato chips are there? Okay, because we got 30. Once again, if you let's just say you think Kirk Cousins is the 12th best quarterback in the league. Well, it's 12 out of 32. So that's almost in the top third.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I mean.
And Pringles are a top third chip.
Really, not in terms of sales, terms of taste. Honestly, if we lined up, 12 brands and flavors, you really think that one of the first 4 cans grabbed would be a Pringles?
I'll tell you what, David, it's too bad you're not here because I like watching March Madness with you. And, next Thursday, you may have to drive down after the show. We'll go to a Publix. We'll just take on the chip rack with some of the hard-earned money that we've made from this show.
Okay.
And I'll get 12, and we'll have a blind taste test of potato chips.
Tell you what, how about we even creepier? How about we just stand near the potato chip aisle and we just chart it?
Start opening bags.
And then we start asking questions. You bought Pringles, why? Okay. And we follow them from aisle 4. And next thing you know, we're in aisle 6.
This is really a problem, David, because now I'm going to go. I don't ever go down the chip aisle at Publix. I don't buy chips that often. I'm going to go down the chip aisle every time I'm at the grocery store. And I'm probably going to, you know what? Let's go on Twitter and see what's going on. I'm just going to stand there in front of the chips until someone grabs something.
That's all. I'd start asking the people who buy Pringles, do you like Pringles or is it just, convenient?
This is the next level of Miller and Moulton R&D. I mean, this is you guys have reached a new, this is awesome. We're talking blind taste tests.
If you're a Publix manager and you listen to this show,
please,
we need you to text the show now at 21,000 and tell us your store address so that we can plop down with a chair and a pen and do some R&D.
And listen, to those that keep saying it's not a potato chip, it's a potato crisp. It's in the potato chip aisle. There is no National Potato Crisp Day. It counts as a potato chip. It makes the category.
Well, David, it's 60% flour, so I don't really know.
Boy.
It's 60% crap. Okay. But we
I can't
love it.
wait until a Tuesday morning when David's on the road in Seattle, getting up at 3 a.m., getting up at 2:30 in the morning to do this show.
Eating Pringles.
And I'm going to say, how are they? And he's going to go, they're delicious.
I'm going to go, they're amazing, and they're $9. And I'm going to have 2 cans. Yep. Going to have an $18 Pringles breakfast. It's amazing. Yep. So anyway, so for the record, America is against the athletes unionizing. Of course, they're against unions, and they really don't care about the athletes, but it's official. And Kirk Cousins is a Pringle. Now, is he plain?
Yes.
Sour
No.
cream and onion?
He's plain.
Not even sour cream and onion?
I don't think so, David.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Rough, tough. That is a great point. It is Pie Day. Forgot about that. Used to be a big deal in school.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cheap pizza?
No, we just used to have a contest over like who could name the most digits in pi because, it goes forever.
Right. I just saw a thing that a Google employee took it to the whatever, like the longest it's ever been. I've already.
It's just, cool, but come on, get a life. That's what I used to say. Of course, I'm over here reciting the entire 2008 Stanley Cup Red Wings team, so that's not really much better.
My mom made a banana cream pie the other day because she's got a couple banana trees in her yard and had a bunch of bananas and said, I'll make a banana cream pie. It was delicious. Absolutely delicious. Didn't know I could like a banana cream pie that much.
Fantastic.
Is that the best? Is that your favorite?
No. I'm a pecan pie person.
Okay.
Mark, I will say that there's nothing wrong with Perkins as a go-to for pies. Now, I'm thinking they're still good, even though she's passed. Dolly's Produce Patch. It's on Bonita Beach Road.
Awesome.
Dolly passed away a couple of years ago in her late 80s, early 90s. Her son, Randy, runs the place.
Mm-hmm.
Their pies are spectacular.
The best.
I think they're the best in Southwest Florida.
My family owns a pie pantry, and not my family, but my aunt and uncle, and I am not a pie person at all.
No?
It's a shame. Yeah. I don't
And you like your sweets.
I love
I see you down in like
donuts.
Right.
Oh, I love donuts.
I'll tell you what, Dolly's pies are so good they could make you a pie person.
Been a long time since I've had a farmer's restaurant pie, but it's in the same ballpark, Missouri.
So here's my problem. I don't love baked fruit. Like I don't like, and then I'm allergic to pecans. So that takes that out of the equation. And pumpkin pie is like okay. I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of pumpkin pie.
I gotta load it up with whipped cream if I'm gonna.
Probably not. I can't imagine that being the case.
Oh.
Are you gonna nap today, David? Or are you gonna watch college?
Don't know. I'm gonna try not to.
I'll be cleaning the patio furniture today. That's my job of the day.
Okay.
Mother-in-law gets in Monday.
Start the clock. You sound thrilled.
I love my mother-in-law. She's great. It's just that we're raising this bar of what has to be done in the house before she gets there.
It sounds like that's not really your decision.
Hell no. It's a bold statement, Robert. Yoder's in Sarasota, huh? Okay.
Man, the NBA is obsessed about the MVP. It's unreal.
What else do they have?
How about teams? How about playoff positioning? How about franchises? And it's all the NBA beat people talk about.
I know, but
Well, that's because Minnesota and OKC are the top two teams in the West.
well,
right?
and I just think it's. You look at the East.
Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Marc Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here, the Diamond District bonus hour of Miller and Moulton. Tomorrow, Donnie Jones, head coach of Stetson, he and they won the A-Sun, first time ever going to the NCAA tournament. That's cool. He'll join us at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Pat Kerwin for 2 segments at 8 o'clock tomorrow. You know, that NFL thing is still popular.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Marc Miller with Today Was the Day When.
I'll tell you, there's not enough on this sheet to extend this segment very long, but after that discussion on pies, because it's 3:14 today, I'm hungry. Eli Whitney patents the cotton gin today in 1794. Kind of big. 1962, Gordie Howe becomes the second to 500 goals. 1972, the NBA's Cincinnati Royals moved to Kansas City, where they would fail there as well.
I was going to say where they'd become the Kings, right?
Yeah. Were they Kings or were they the Monarchs?
I don't know.
91, Dave Matthews Band had their first live performance. And in 2017, the world's oldest golf club, Murfield, allows women as members for the first time in 273 years. If you were born today, you are not the smartest person ever born on this day. Because you share your birthday with Einstein. Also, Wes Unseld and Kirby Puckett born today. Michael Caine and Quincy Jones are both 91 today. Golfer Bob Charles is 88. Billy Crystal, 76. Larry Johnson, Grandmama, is 55 today. Ron Dane's 46. Steph Curry is 36. And Simone Biles is 27 years old today.
How many more years for Steph, you think? You know, we're asking about LeBron, who turned 39 this year. I think the answer for LeBron is 2. A lot of people think it'll just be next year. How many more for Steph? He's an undersized point guard, arguably the best shooter ever.
2? This one and 2 more?
If he wanted to transition to kind of like a wing shooter and just come off the bench and be Vince Carter, he could play another 5 if he wants to.
I understand, but, you know, when you're a legend, when you're an all-timer, do you want to be far less than that?
And it's not like he needs to stick around to win a ring somewhere. I mean, usually in the cases that you're talking about, Trent, and you're not wrong, but that guy that wants to go to the bench might be chasing a ring that he's never been able to achieve.
It's a very good point.
And Mark, you may be onto something because I believe Kerr re-signed an extension for 2 years. And I think it matches up with Curry's contract. You know, Curry gave an interview recently in which he kind of talked for the first time about life after basketball and what he's thinking. And, you know, he's already a successful business guy. And he didn't rule out politics, which will cut his popularity at least in half,
if not more.
So, you know,
politics.
Well,
got all that money.
I know.
Travel the world.
Once again, though,
the guy's a great golfer. Loves to tee it up.
Says he wants to make a difference.
If Steph ran for vice president, I would vote for him. Aaron Rodgers, not so much.
Well, both are old enough to be president, so they can be on the ticket.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Marc Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Georgia for the good, where Liz Gillespie lost her cat, Kevin, 7 years ago.
Kevin?
Named after Kevin Durant, according to the article.
Wow.
A Lynx Point Siamese mix. She figured, because she butts up against 30 acres of woods, she said, I just kind of assumed that maybe a coyote got him. But she got a call from the Walker County Animal Shelter reporting that Kevin had been found 7 years later.
And did Kevin tell her, no, listen, I was just out injured? No?
For the bad, we go to Sunny Isles Beach.
You're snarky?
Not at all. I got nothing after that. I just moved to the next story, David. Who knew the cat was on load management?
Exactly. And, listen, I was healthy the whole time. I just switched teams.
So for the bad, we go to Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, where Cecilia Selena Mercado, a Latin singer known as Ceci, was jailed on Tuesday, driving an Audi with counterfeit license plates that said she was a diplomat and an ambassador at large. She left jail Wednesday, being picked up in the same car that she was pulled over in, and was immediately arrested again.
Well, wait a minute. She's a passenger, though. Come on now. That's unfair.
Yeah. The diplomat plates got her in trouble, and she was behind the wheel the first time, and when she left in the same car after, she was arrested a second time.
Well, she's got to get home. She's got to be driven to the car dealer to get a new car, right? No?
Her boyfriend was arguing that she was not a United States citizen. She, of course, was born in the Bronx.
Man, I know New York City's going through some image problems lately, but come on now.
Finally, the ugly. We go back to Australia, where it's happened again. The snake catcher was called to a family home after a highly venomous snake was spotted in a 7-year-old girl's bedroom. Fortunately, the snake did not bite the 7-year-old, and the snake snatcher able to rectify the situation as the snake was in a girl's dresser.
In a dresser?
I'm ruling out Australia as a place I want to live now. And I've always wanted to go to Australia. I still would like to go to Australia. But every day we got a new highly venomous snake in someone's bedroom.
Right. Man. I would lose my mind. Honest. I'd be screaming, running through the house out onto the front yard.
Grab the Tupperware.
That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, March the 14th, 2024.
I killed a small snake with a piece of Tupperware. That's the reference that Trent is alluding to. Okay, I was trying to capture it
and set it free, but then
set it free. Okay, but the sucker wouldn't go in, so I said, "Fine, I'm going to cut your head off." So
priceless. That runs.
Wouldn't cooperate. I gave it multiple chances. Speaking of the cat, Kevin, Mark, KD and the Suns are in Boston. It's actually an interesting TNT double dip tonight. Phoenix at Boston and then Dallas at OKC. So that guy goes for the record tonight. Daniel Gafford. He's 33 for his last 33. If he hits his first 3 shots tonight to make 36 in a row, he will have done something that no one else in the history of the league has ever done. Chamberlain at one point made 35 shots in a row. Daniel Gafford, a fourth-year center out of Arizona. 33 for 33. A lot of pressure on Luka to get him 3 dunks.
Good night of hockey tonight, David.
Yeah, it is.
Both the Lightning and Panthers are in action. Florida on the road taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. The Lightning at home facing off against the Rangers.
Also, Bruins Canadians, which is one of the few rivalries, Mark, that I truly believe has stood the test of time. Hasn't mattered about realignment, divisions, and what have you. To me, Bruins Canadians is a lot like Bears Packers. You just know if you're on either team that doesn't matter the standings or what have you, that's the game. That's the money game right there.
Islanders play the Sabres. Buffalo trying to crawl back into the playoff race. They're 5 back of the aisle tonight.
If your Wings don't win tonight, they're done.
They're done.
All right. I know you make fun of me with all these games left. I mean, what did the Wings have played? They have 17 games left. I'm sorry. They don't beat the Coyotes at home in Detroit tonight. They're done.
You're absolutely right, because they are skidding hard and they are soft as baby poo.
Wow.
They are.
They're lost without Dylan Larkin. That's what.
But they're soft.
Oh, I know. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just, to all you yahoos who didn't think Larkin was worthy of the contract and the captainship and all that. Look at the Wings now without him.
Leafs and Flyers.
Hold on. Yahoos?
Yahoos.
Well, I had to keep it.
Is that a distant cousin of Yahoo?
And maybe a little closer to the east, a little closer related to the a-hole.
Oh. Okay, I didn't realize it was that family member. I thought it was a different family member. Okay, we're inviting who over for dinner? Oh. Okay.
Oh, Uncle Bob's coming again, huh?
I was going to say. And he's a Yahoo. Hey, you watch your mouth. What? What? Thought he was the first cousin of Yahoo. No, he's not. He's in a different family. Oh, okay. We went over a lot of the college hoops 30 or so minutes ago, but this is a really good day. Before the NCAA tournament, honestly, if you were to watch one day of college basketball, just flipping through the channels, today is the day. The Big East tournament alone is bubblicious. Iowa has to beat Ohio State, and then if Ohio State wins, how many more wins do they need?
Spartans has to beat Minnesota. Gators play Georgia. Now
Tonight at 9:30. Right, they're in, but right. So it's just a lot of good action. The small conference tournaments outside of the WAC. All right. I mean, we got the A10 Mountain West, but probably the smallest conference tournament still going on right now is the WAC.
And the Metro.
Oh, wow. That one's still around?
Yes. So a couple of small conference, but the big boys playing in the early games of a lot, as David said, a lot of bubblicious teams that are playing today in true must-win situations.
Oh, yeah. The MAC's going on still. Huh. How did I miss that? Huh.
I don't know, David.
There's my small conference fix right there. I love the MAC.
Fire up chips.
Yeah, he's talking about the Metro. Different part of the world. MAC means a different thing.
Sorry. I couldn't help myself.
And I was really sad when Mississippi Valley State got knocked out of their conference tournament. I mean, 1-30, and you can't go on a tournament run. It's really sad.
And then obviously for you golfers, the players going on right now.
Right. And another day, we'll see if the Yankees can really find out what's wrong with Garrett Cole's elbow, or will they stall some more, as David Sampson says they're doing, because they don't want to give in to, Scott Boras for one of his 2 pitchers on the free agent market. Like, they don't know the extent of Garrett Cole's elbow injury today. They've been examining it for 3 days. It's an elbow.
Now, there were reports out that there's no tear in the UCL. That's the only thing that I've read, that it was, clean, that they're going to rest him. But that means they're going to rest him, so wait for it. They can see if they can avoid surgery.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're right. Their lineup's going to be great, and their starting pitching could be bad. And they traded away a lot of depth this year. And the moves they made for Soto and others, they had a lot of pitching depth in the organization at the major and minor league level, and they traded away a lot of it.
Who's going to win that division?
It's funny because we think the Orioles will not win 101 again. I mean, is Toronto the team we're not talking about? Are they finally going to put it together?
That's where I'm leaning.
I think I'm still leaning Baltimore. The organization's got a ton of depth, too. If things start to go sideways, they can make a deal. Also, new owner, they can take on payroll. I actually think the Orioles should sign one of the two pitchers, short-term, big money. Their attendance bump this year is going to be huge. They are going to make a lot more money at the gate with new ownership. They could draw 1 million more fans this year. Miller and Moulton, have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll do this again tomorrow.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Are you ready to make March unforgettable? No, seriously. Get ready to be dazzled as Jason and Todd with the Diamond District invite you to their largest diamond event ever, featuring one of the world's largest diamond cutters, beginning Friday, March 15th, running through Sunday the 17th. Picture this, GIA certified diamonds ranging from 1 carat to a stunning 11 carat diamonds, all at the lowest prices you'll find anywhere. No, seriously, the lowest prices. And that's not all. A. Jaffe, one of America's top bridal designers,